And we are back, folks, for another edition of Steady Droppin Dimes. And of course, we are here on the heels of Michigan ascending to first place in the Big Ten. First place in the storied Big Ten Conference, beating Purdue, avenging the loss down in West Lafayette, where frankly, they were embarrassed. They were run out of the gym. Their manhood was tested. Dusty May admitted, Daniel Horton, that he didn't have his team prepared. He underestimated the physicality in this league. He said, you know what? When we were practicing in the preseason, didn't know what we were in for. I thought Northwestern was physical when we lost to them in the tournament last year. He said that wasn't physical. He said, you know, we had Will Cheddar tossing guys around. And I'm telling Will, slow down. We don't need all of that right now. Little did I know, we were in for a rude awakening once we got in conference play. You saw a little bit of it when they lost to Minnesota. You saw a lot of it when they lost down at Purdue. But yeah, they were up to the task when they met Purdue, Crisler Arena last night. So we have a lot to unpack on today's show. Daniel Horton with us right now. Devin Gardner with us a little later. Daniel, how you doing today?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing great, man. Doing great. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia. Buckeyes did a great job. Hey, man, I'm happy for the Buckeyes. They went and got a guy who, I'll tell you, he rose up by his own bootstraps. All the things that he's accomplished in his coaching career, he did it by doing it the old-fashioned way. He earned his way to every coaching job he's gotten. I'm talking about that old Matt Patricia, and what a bang-up job he did with the Detroit Lions. Don't you think, Daniel Horton?
He did a great job.
I'm just saying. And now he's the defensive coordinator for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So we will talk about that coming up. The Kansas City Chiefs took it on the chin. Kansas City Chiefs took it on the chin. Did we just see the best defense in the Super Bowl since the 85 Bears? We will discuss that. And Daniel, you and I got into an unexpected debate last week about, was the worst trade in our lifetime just pulled off at the trade deadline in the NBA? You said no. I said yes. I thought it was because we saw a guy who was panned for his unavailability, talking about Luka, was traded for a guy whose availability has been in question for much of his NBA career, talking about AD. And guess who's unavailable now?
Yeah, I think they both play, one game?
So like I said, a lot to unpack on today's show. That is the intro. But folks, before we get into all that, and someone said, hey, where's the Prince of Zamunda? Well, listen, here's what you have to understand, KO. Yes. When we start out talking basketball, he takes a break. He's absent. He's MIA. He's MIA on basketball topics. He'll pop in when we start talking football, and then he'll show up. So he'll be around talking about Devin Gardner for the second half of the show. So you'll see Devin around that time. But listen, this show would not be possible without our great sponsors. I saw Sean Duval last night. Sean Duval, Golden Limo, was at the game, taking it all in, seeing Michigan ascend to #1 in the Big Ten. So we'll talk about Golden Limo a little bit later on in the show. But another of our great sponsors, you heard us talk about last week, that Daniel is looking to bring a basketball tournament to Washtenaw County. And we talked you through about how you can bring events to the greater Washtenaw County area by getting in contact with and going through the Ann Arbor Sports Commission. But what about events that are already coming to the area, already coordinated through and with the Ann Arbor Sports Commission? Well, we're going to tell you about one of those great events today. We're going to bring one of our great guests, Meaghan Hughes, back on. You heard from her a couple of weeks ago as she was on telling you about all the great work that the Ann Arbor Sports Commission does. And we're going to bring to you one of the great event coordinators of one of the great events that is being put on coming up this weekend, as a matter of fact. So, folks, without further ado, first of all, if you don't know what the Ann Arbor Sports Commission is all about, let me introduce one more time for you from the Ann Arbor Sports Commission, the director of the Ann Arbor Sports Commission, Meaghan Hughes. Meaghan, good afternoon.
Hi, how are you guys doing today? You guys ready for all the snow?
Yes, we are. How are you again today?
Very good, except for now, I realize my kids will probably have a snow day tomorrow, so I'm not looking forward to that.
Right. And can you, for folks who are just now joining us again, can you explain to them what the Ann Arbor Sports Commission is all about and what it is that you guys do?
Yeah, so we do so many great things. We are a division of Destination Ann Arbor, trying to bring people, visitors, meetings, events to town. The Sports Commission specializes in sports, though. So whether it's a sports conference, a sports meeting, which I guess would be a conference, a camp, a tournament, anything regarding sports that can bring visitors, families, athletes to town, we try to make that happen. So whether we are a connector in providing facility information, hotel information, anything like that, if you're a local coach that wants to bring a tournament to town, we work with them to try to make that happen and be a resource so we can bring more athletes, events, tournaments to Washtenaw County.
All right. And a great event, a first event of its kind at Crisler Arena, Michigan State. Wheelchair basketball event at Crisler Arena coming up this Sunday. You want to check it out? You want to see some great action? Doors open at 5:15 this Sunday. To tell you all about that, let's bring on our next guest. Now, Erik, I should have gone through this when I talked to Erik earlier today. Now, Erik, you're going to have to help me pronounce your last name, Erik. Help me out a little bit.
Well, the Z is a little bit scary to some folks, and thank you for having me on the show today. My name is Erik Robeznieks. I'm the Associate Director of Adaptive Sports and Fitness at University of Michigan. But as scary as that Z is, kind of my Canadian roots and background bring out the friendly overtones of kind of my demeanor as what I bring to the table.
Absolutely. As you said, the Associate Director of Adaptive Sports and Fitness at the University of Michigan. And, you know, we talked about the exciting action at Crisler last night. We'll call it a precursor to the exciting action that's coming up at Crisler this Sunday. So let's set the stage. Let's set the table. I know we're going to talk all about the great work that you guys are doing more broadly, but let's start off talking about the great event this Sunday.
Thank you, Sam. And we couldn't have asked for a better background, better setting for this event to take place. Michigan basketball is absolutely thriving right now. We're on a resurgence in terms of what basketball means to the city of Ann Arbor, to University of Michigan, connecting with alum and current and future basketball athletes here at Michigan and the state of Michigan. With the snow coming down and forecasted ahead of us, there's no better setting for a Midwestern showdown between Michigan and Michigan State. And if you've never seen a wheelchair basketball game, you're ready for an event. You're ready for a party. You're ready for some hard hitting, some just fast, high-speed action out on that court. Because wheelchair basketball, very similar to what people may know of in terms of the able-bodied game. We play on the same court. We play by a lot of the same rules. Main difference is that we use a sport chair to get around on the court. But a sport chair is something very different than what people might use in their day-to-day in terms of a regular everyday wheelchair. These chairs are specifically designed for agility and speed and performance. So you're going to see athletes flying around out there, tilting, doing all sorts of crazy stuff on their sport chairs as they battle it out on court. But this is really a history-making, history-setting event for a number of reasons. This is the first time ever that the wheelchair basketball team for University of Michigan is going to be playing on home soil at Crisler Center. One of the most prolific one of the most prolific basketball places that you can really think of when it comes to collegiate sport, and to be taking none other than our rivals up the road from us over in East Lansing is quite an honor to be able to share that space with them and play this game. But not only is it our first home wheelchair basketball game at Crisler Center, right now with the current ticket count, and I'm hoping that more fans will sign up as a result of this show, we're going to have the largest attended intercollegiate wheelchair basketball game in the history of the United States.
Wow.
So this is really a coming out party in so many respects for the sport of wheelchair basketball here at University of Michigan and here in the state of Michigan. So it's an event that you won't want to miss. We're going to have the Michigan Marching Band. We're going to have the STEAM Ann Arbor Middle School Band. We're going to have different celebrations and recognitions of partners and groups that we work with out on the basketball court. There's going to be a half-court shot contest for a $500 prize. And then, of course, you're going to get to see wheelchair basketball up close and personal and all the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into playing that sport.
Wow. And tickets are free. For those of you who are watching this live or on replay, you can scan the QR code and get the information there. For folks who might be listening or want to maybe get the tickets by going to a website, what are other ways they can get tickets, Erik?
Yeah, a couple of different ways. Of course, the QR code is up here. You can follow us on Instagram, where we have regular updates about the game and the event overall. To follow us on Instagram, we're at UMICH Adaptive Sports. You can also check us out on Facebook at University of Michigan Adaptive Sports and Fitness, or you can go to our website, www.umadaptivesports.com.
Meaghan, it's interesting. What are some of the ways in which the Sports Commission has really worked with Erik and, the adaptive sports and fitness to really help promote and push the event?
Going back a few years, I had an appointment with the National Wheelchair Basketball Association, just based out of Colorado Springs. And they said, a lot of times you need to find somebody locally to partner with a lot of these events because they're the expert in the area. So they told me about Dr. O, who leads Erik's department. And so I reached out to Dr. O at that time. And that's how we made this initial connection between the two areas, between the two of us. And then Erik was hired. And U of M Adaptive Sports has grown so much over the years as a result of Dr. O's work and Erik's work and all the great things they are doing, which they continue to grow, which is so great to see. And so over the years, as they've been growing and trying to add sports and events to their genre of sports and events, we have been able to be a resource to Erik on finding facilities, making contacts, whether it's just for practice. Recently, last year, they hosted a wheelchair rugby event at the Saline Middle School, which I had the pleasure of going and realized I am not tough at all because, man, those people were tough. That was amazing, those athletes. And it was a really great experience. But we were able to help Erik make the connection with Brian at the Saline Middle School to have a place for their tournament. And then we have helped Erik when they host events and tournaments find the hotels that they need. We have continuous conversations about events that we can partner on in the future for adaptive sports conferences. Erik, I don't want to steal Erik's thunder, but they recently just hosted their first adaptive sports track meet at U of M, which was a great success for them and really great to watch. And so as they continue to grow the sports and events that they host, we hope to be a resource, whether it's finding facilities, hotels, people that can help them, talk to other even destinations that have hosted these events and what challenges they've had while hosting their events. So there's a lot of different resources we can be. And promotion like this one right here, our social media, press releases, we're always trying to grow and change and learn the new ways we can help events too. But Erik and I get to meet monthly and kind of brainstorm how we can help each other.
Yeah. So, Erik, I'm curious about the support within the university that you get to grow, because it seems like the the growth that we've seen here more recently has been kind of rapid, but that seems like more of a recent phenomenon. Kind of take me back a bit and take me to the genesis of how things kind of started, and who are some of the people that kind of helped you kind of move this from beginning to where you are now?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, Sam. And I think an overtone of all that I'm about to share in terms of the narrative and the arc of adaptive sports and fitness is really trying to understand and live up to the saying leaders and best, recognizing that University of Michigan can be a leader when it comes to this space. When we think about all the different resources and people that we can tap into in terms of making an excellent collegiate adaptive sport program. But going back to the origin, this program was conceived and founded in 2019 by current director, Dr. Okunlami. And this was an initiative started originally actually within Michigan medicine. And it was to address the fact that people with disabilities were not getting equitable access to sport, whether it be recreational or competitive, and not just within University of Michigan, but within the Ann Arbor and Washtenaw area, period. And there was an opportunity to build something at University of Michigan. When we think about the intersection of this institution and what it means to go here and the legacy of academia and sport, and all the things that contribute in terms of creating opportunity and access for people, this was a perfect ground for people to then support this concept and idea of an adaptive sports and fitness program. And that was championed by a lot of people at the time, and even former Vice President of Student Life, E. Royster Harper, but now under leadership of Vice President Martino Harmon and leadership of President Ono, this program has flourished under a number of great leaders that have bought into the vision of what this is. We wouldn't have been able to build and get to where we are without the support of Dean of Students Laura Blake Jones and Martino Harmon and Dr. Rob Ernst, but also from our very close and proximal partners, Director of Rec Sports Mike Wyden, Director Ward Manuel, and all the associate directors under him, and Paul Dunlop and Rob Rademacher, and all the other people that we work with in athletics. But the origin story back in 2019, we were very much bootstrapping at that time, trying to secure any kinds of donations or grants that we could get to start this program, to embark upon this vision of building a nation-leading adaptive sport program. At the core of it, a mission to increase awareness, knowledge, access, and participation in adaptive sports among people with and without disabilities. And I'm very proud to share that we still hold that mission near and dear to our hearts today, because when we think about what adaptive sport is, this is not just for people with disabilities or people with physical disabilities for that matter. This is for everyone. Because when we think about adaptive sport, getting in a basketball chair to play wheelchair basketball, of getting in a hand cycle to go hand cycling, or whatever else it may be, those are just all vehicles of sport equipment that allow people to play sport. The same way that you put on skates to play ice hockey, the same way you put on cleats to play soccer or go play football, our athletes get in a sport chair to play the sport that they love, that they train hard for and compete hard in. So when we think about what adaptive sport is and what it could be, it's really a tool that gives access to everyone to be able to play sport together. And riding on that mission, we were then able to get the support from Student Life leadership. We were able to get the support of University of Michigan leadership, such that we now have base funded and institutional supported full-time staff positions. We have support from them to be able to have funds to practice, to compete, to have the equipment that we need. But we still largely do depend upon a lot of private donations, sponsorships, endorsements. We also depend a lot on grants, and we have to credit several different granting agencies that have supported the initial ideas in some of the community programs that we do. like through the Michigan Health Endowment Fund, through community health services, because we're not just a program that provides competitive sport opportunities, but how we've been able to grow is addressing all the different determinants of health and barriers of access that exist in the sport realm. The same way on the able-bodied side, you see how people can't get access to equipment or gym time or coaching or even just economically accessible programming. The way that we've been able to build this program and now grow so rapidly within these recent years and see those dividends pay off is because we're doing work in the local public schools. We're doing work in the local rehab centers and hospitals. We're hosting community-centered events. We're trying every which way we can to engage with the community that exists within Washtenaw County. And that's largely accredited in our ability to do so to our partners like Meaghan Hughes at the Ann Arbor Sports Commission and all the other community partners that we work with to make sure that we're not just a resource that exists for student athletes, but we're here to stay in the long term to serve the people of Michigan and Washtenaw County so that no matter if you have a disability or not, you have the opportunity and access to play sport. So since then, I'm very proud to share on behalf of the program that we've grown significantly from a program that maybe hosts a drop-in wheelchair tennis session maybe once a month to now yielding 4 competitive sport teams that compete in wheelchair rugby, wheelchair basketball, wheelchair tennis, track and field, amongst all the other work that we do in the community and public school network.
That is tremendous. And I guess I'm just not surprised that Michigan has a program like this. I'm not surprised that Royster, who I love, was at the forefront of this when she was vice president of the student life, and that it has blossomed in the years since. So, keep up the great work. So again, let's come back full circle and remind people of the event. And we buried the lead. Tickets are free. I mean, we didn't mention that, Erik. Let's
free.
Highlight free tickets.
No reason not to go. Free and the chance to win $500 at the half-court shot competition. How can you turn that down?
Yeah.
That's what got me. I was planning on going anyways, but then the $500 shot, I was like, oh, I'm there.
Yeah, tickets are free this Sunday. Michigan State, first time ever wheelchair basketball matchup at Crisler. Grudge match between the Spartans and the Wolverines. So you want to check it out, a chance to win $500 at you saw the half-court shot, as you heard Erik talking about. But again, a chance to help forward a great initiative here at the University of Michigan. And this is the first of its kind, but emphasis on first, because there will be more. And there will be more events. So how about that, Erik? What other events can people look forward to beyond this wheelchair basketball game this weekend?
Yeah, I think that with this wheelchair basketball game and as we continue to get support from the community, not just at University of Michigan, but in Ann Arbor and Michigan as a whole, our hope is to continue building on the number of events that we have, and especially hosted at the University of Michigan. So some of the stuff that's coming down the pipeline with some dates still to be determined. We will have our second annual Miller Family Open. That's actually in recognition of the Miller family, or the Adam Miller family to be specific. One of the original supporters and endorsers of this program. I'll tell a little bit about Adam actually in terms of how this all connects back to the wheelchair basketball game. Adam is was a University of Michigan alum, both bachelor's and master's. Unfortunately passed away shortly after his master's degree. Adam lived with a disability, but was a staunch advocate for disability rights and accessibility, not just within society as a whole, but right here at home on the University of Michigan campus. And actually, he's acclaimed some great interviews with the Fab Five during his time at University of Michigan. So this game very much in a lot of ways is connected back to those roots of Adam Miller interviewing the Fab Five. And I know he'd be happy and proud of what we're doing now of bringing wheelchair basketball to Crisler. But we got the Miller Family Open coming up this summer that's going to bring in some of the top talent in adaptive track and field from all across the country. Last year, we had 90 athletes represented from across the U.S., and a lot of them ended up going on to compete for Team USA at the Paralympic Games in Paris. So when those dates get released, you'll be able to find them on our website and social media. And that's absolutely such a cool event to see when you see the wheelchair track athletes flying around the track at lightning speed. You see somebody in prosthetic clear a high jump that is just a phenomenal height. Beyond that, we've got our wheelchair tennis tournament that will be in the fall, our Wolverine Open. This past year, we hosted Auburn University, University of Alabama, Michigan State, Virginia Tech. So we're slated to have a number of good competitors again there this year. Again, all free to attend. And then we'll have our Coopy Classic, which is our wheelchair rugby tournament that happens typically around the beginning of December time period. Wheelchair rugby, if you've never seen it, it doesn't have the nickname Murder Ball for nothing. You are going to see some high contact, high flying, just absolute heavy duty sport. And we have one of the best athletes actually of all time to play the sport that is now the head coach of our team, which is an exciting announcement and signing for us. Chuck Aoki, multiply decorated Paralympic athlete, Mr. Team USA, Captain America. You'll be seeing him lead our team at that wheelchair rugby tournament. So definitely an event you don't want to miss.
Man, you about to have me on YouTube looking up wheelchair rugby.
Murder ball.
What?
Erik, don't forget too, you guys are always looking for volunteers, so people can come volunteer and get involved and watch it as well.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we really are thankful for to the Ann Arbor community is the army of volunteers that we get at these events. Families, students, parents, alum, all sorts of people. And have to thank Meaghan as well, again, for that, of getting the word out to the community. That's one of the things that's, I think, sometimes understated when you're hosting grassroots or community-focused events like this, of how much you really depend upon a good volunteer force. And that's one of the ways that Ann Arbor Sports Commission has been so good to us, is helping us recruit volunteers for these events, in addition to all the other hospitality items that they include. But we are always looking for volunteers. And if you want to find an impactful, meaningful way to give back, this is it. You're going to build connections with people that will last a lifetime. And one of the most common things that we hear from volunteers that are first-time volunteers with us is that it's a life-changing experience.
Outstanding. All right. So call to action right now, though, is get out this Sunday to the first annual Michigan versus Michigan State wheelchair basketball game at Crisler. Producer Ben, can you throw it up one more time for the people so they can see all the pertinent information? And for those who are listening and not watching, the particulars are doors open 5:15. You can see the action for yourself. Crisler Center this Sunday, February 16th. And you can support what is a growing sport here at the University of Michigan, the Adaptive Sports and Fitness division here at the University of Michigan is doing great work, and you can support its growth by getting out and being there to support it in person. And maybe just maybe, you can win $500, right, Erik?
Absolutely. But the one thing that we can absolutely guarantee is that you're going to have a very memorable experience. So we hope we can count on your support. Come out, cheer us on, and help us set a record for the most attended intercollegiate wheelchair basketball game in the history of the United States. That's
so what's the record? What's the record?
Right now, the record's floating at around 1,500. So we're smashing that record right now. I checked the tickets. We're at 2,200. Our goal is now to get to 3,000. So order those tickets. We hope to see you on Sunday, and let's keep building and growing on this momentum.
All right. Erik, Meaghan, we appreciate your time. And folks, get on out on Sunday. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Thank you. Go Blue.
Thanks a lot. Erik and Meaghan, Ann Arbor Sports Commission, University of Michigan Adaptive Sports and Fitness, doing great work here in the community. Our great sponsor the Ann Arbor Sports Commission, doing great work bringing sporting events to Washtenaw County like that. So get on out and support. And that Crisler Arena floor is warm, Daniel. It's warm for some action. It's warm for some physicality, right? Because there was some physical play on that court last night. Some challenges were issued. Some challenges had to be met. Some manhood was tested. What did he call? He said the rugby, wheelchair rugby was murder ball. Yeah, it was some murder ball on the hardwood last night. For a minute there, I was wondering, because Daniel, you remember we were having the conversation about down in West Lafayette, that there was a physicality and intensity that Michigan just didn't match, that they didn't meet. And really, if you rewind the tape, we were talking about that in the Minnesota game.
Yep.
And not even with Dawson Garcia. I was talking about it with Mike Mitchell, but really with this other dude who to be frank with you, I didn't know who Luka Patterson was. I didn't know who that dude was. Like, man, who is this dude bullying Michigan's, guards and wings to the rim at will in the second half and overtime? I mean, it's one thing for Dawson Garcia. I mean, everybody's talking about the buzzer beater. It's the plays. His 27 is one thing. It's the 20 spots that Mitchell and Patterson got, to me, that beat them. And it was them getting downhill when they wanted to. To me, that was the problem. That kind of set the stage for what we saw with Purdue, where those dudes were just like, and you made this point, and I want you to pick it up. I was like, man, they're physical and they could shoot. And you said, but Sam, they only hit like 6 threes in that game down in West Lafayette, which is my point. They smacked Michigan around that floor down in West Lafayette. And Dusty said after the contest, he said, man, we have some work to do. We were not prepared for the physicality of the Big Ten. And he meant the traditional Big Ten. We weren't ready for this, and that's on us as a coaching staff to get these dudes ready. And last night was a sign to me that, okay, readiness, we're up to it now. We have risen to the level of preparedness that we needed to rise to.
Hey, and let me let Dusty in if he's watching on another little secret. The intensity and the physicality is going to go up another level between now and the end of the season. Like playing against Purdue, we met the challenges, we met their physicality last night, but the most physical teams and the most physically athletic and gifted teams that are in this conference, we have them down the line to finish the season. Now, does that mean we won't beat them or we can't win? But I think the level of scrappiness, the level of toughness, the level of just fortitude that they showed last night, man, I think that's going to serve them well going down the stretch because they're going to need it. It's going to get even more physical as things are. Guys or teams are playing for, end of season prizes, whether it be regular season championship, tournament seeding, whatever, man. The intensity every game, the intensity and the physicality ratchets up this time of year.
Yeah, man. It was a challenge at Purdue that out the gate, they got smacked and they never, ever respond. I mean, it was like the first 5 minutes of the game, it was over.
Hey, Sam, to be honest, the first 3-4 minutes of this game was pretty ugly too. We were down 7-0 and we had turned the ball over 4 times going into the first TV timeout. But like you said, they showed a level of intestinal fortitude and toughness to fight their way back into the game and eventually win it. So it was a big time response.
Well, what I thought about was something me and you especially have been talking about all year. It wasn't they showed, it was he showed. Tre Donaldson.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he definitely got us out the blocks early.
Exactly, because it's like, yeah, you talk about it all the time, man. Your point guard has to be able to be all things because you don't know what your team is gonna need.
Yep.
So depending on what they need, he's got to be able to fill in those gaps.
Yep.
And in this moment, it was like the rest of the squad had a standing 8 count. Like they were dazed. It was like, damn, man, they doing it to us again. That was everybody else's reaction. And Trey was like, hey, all right, I got us.
Yep.
And Trey kind of went to work, giving the team what they needed. Like, okay, I got it. I get to the rim. I hit this 3. I tell them we here. Like he was talking, he was hitting shots, he was hitting jumpers. He was giving them juice. He was calming the team. He was giving them everything they needed in that moment while the rest of the team kind of got settled into the game, right? So, because Daniel, in that moment, they wasn't ready. Trey
they started off pretty slow. And Chris and I released the film study shortly after Dimes is over today, right? But we kind of talk about that where it wasn't the greatest start to the game, but the difference between that game and the game in West Lafayette, Tre Donaldson drew a line in the sand. It was like, hey, man, it's not going like that. And so I think his first basket, he drove to the paint and put his shoulder on first and made a float over the power forward and gave him the little boy symbol. Like he's setting the tone like, okay, we here. I'm here. Like, and hey, guys, y'all go follow me or y'all go be with me, or hey, I'm going down swinging. And I know that's one thing I liked about Trey last night. He had stretches where he kind of later on in the game he struggled a little bit defensively, but in that moment where it was 7-0 and the game could have went either way, he stepped up and did what good point guards do, and he changed the tone of the game really quickly.
Mm-hmm. And they had to have it, man, because it could have got ugly. Them dudes came in, was like, hey, this y'all home floor? You sure?
Yeah. You remember last time they came in Arbor, it was their home floor.
Hey, man. Year, so I don't think I should probably ask before I even share this. But I'll take this liberty, because I don't think he would mind. But Mike Boynton said something to me about Braden Smith, because he said, hey, man, this dude is cold.
Yep.
He said, let me tell you how cold. Let me tell you how cold this is. He said, man, this dude's so cold. As a point guard, he said, I've coached against a lot of dudes. And that guy, of all the guys I've coached, and he was laying them out. John Wall, Jalen Brunson, Brandon Knight, Trey Young, Steph Curry, Frank Mason. I mean, he was dropping names, and college guys. And he says Steph is the only one who at the time who was better than Braden Smith. You hear what I just said? In college.
Yeah. I can
now, he's not more talented. Not more talented.
No, I know what you mean. I know
what I mean?
I know how to separate the difference between. Yeah, no, I get what you mean. And just thinking about those guys' college careers, you said Steph. Only one I would challenge him on is Jalen Brunson, right? Jalen Brunson, 2-time national champion, was the leader. Like, that's the only one I would challenge him on. But the rest of those guys I completely agree with as far as playing the position, leadership, catch and shoot, play off the dribble, attack closeouts, navigate pick and rolls, distribute the ball. Pretty much everything that you want from a point guard, Braden Smith does. And remember, you asked me if they could speed him up, right?
I did.
Right. And you saw you can't speed him up, right? And so the game plan is exactly what I told you it would be. He saw multiple bodies, he saw multiple coverages, whether it be coverages on him in the pick and roll or whether it be coverages, Michigan changing their defensive coverage as a unit, whether it be man or zone, right? And it was a shot. And like I said, you'll see it when we released the film study. It was a play with about 3 minutes left in the first half. I was like, they got him. I called Chris Hunter and I was like, hey, man, you remember what we was talking? Like, they got him. Like, he tried to take a 3 over Danny Wolf, right? And for all of us that were scorers, or if you played driving lines or one-on-one games in practice or workouts, right? You have a guy that everybody know he's the best guy in the line. He's killing everybody one-on-one, right? But it's that one time or that one possession where he'll lose the one-on-one contest because he gives in, and the guy in front of him, he can beat him off the dribble. He's been whooping people off the dribble, but he settles for a jump shot because he's tired, right? And Braden Smith did that against Danny Wolf, and Danny blocked it. And when they went to timeout immediately after I called Chris, I was like, they got him. I thought he was going to be able to recover at halftime and kind of have another burst the second half, but he never recovered that same burst that he had to start the game. And that's because Michigan kind of wore him down earlier than I expected.
Yeah. And so to get back, because it's a great point that you just made about Braden Smith and wearing him down. And that's going to loop back around to another comparison that I want to make. But I raised the point about what Mike Boynton was saying about Braden Smith, because to emphasize how important it was for Trey to really get him on track, because you dealing with an animal. You're dealing with an animal right there in Braden Smith. And to compound matters is Daniel. You remember I was sitting here because I mean you and Chris do a great job, and I hope you guys really, if you looked at the in the comment section, I linked their film study. I put it over on the MichiganInsider.com. We'll do the same thing this week. Great resource if you want to actually see the breakdown. We do a lot of we describe and we talk about it, but if you want to actually see the breakdown, it's a great add-on to everything that we talk about here on the channel, the content that Daniel and Chris provide as well. But one of the things I said in maybe not the last episode, but the episode before, Trey Kaufman ran, he was going in the Vlad's chest, and I'm like, man, this dude's smaller than Vlad. That ain't supposed to happen. Now, I think that was one of the games where Vlad was sick. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe that is part of the explanation. Still, I'm not giving it a total pass, but maybe that's part of the reason. But then we get in this game, and I'm seeing the same thing happen.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the same thing happen. All right, first half, we need some other people to pick up the slack because he going in Vlad's chest again.
Yeah.
He got 8 points and like 4 something boards. Vlad in the first half got 2 points in the board. But fortunately, welcome back Roddy Gayle. So Roddy, he gets a couple basket cuts. He's running the floor. He scores. He crashing the boards. And suddenly, Daniel, they realize, wait a minute, we got a problem with this matchup. We athletically, we got issues matching up with Roddy. And Roddy is suddenly in the game in a way that he hadn't been in the game offensively.
Yeah.
Daniel, it was good to see old boy back.
Nah, great to see him back. He's had some head scratching plays over the last couple of weeks. Hasn't been shooting the ball well, especially from three. So it was good to see him get out and lean into the 3 A's, as we call them, right? I think I said this last time. We call them, when it was just you and I, we talk about the 3 A's with guys like Roddy Gayle being active, athletic, and aggressive. And he was all 3 of those last night. Getting out in transition. He was active on defense, getting deflections and steals. And he was, just getting out, playing free, right? When you put him in positions where he has to do a lot of thinking, whether that's navigating pick and rolls or being a little bit more of a ball handler, he struggles. But when you allow him to run up and down and play free and use those 3 A's that I just mentioned, he can be a really effective player, especially coming off the bench where, Michigan's needed a bit of a scoring punch, right? Will Cheddar's been games where Will Cheddar's been the only guy that scored off the bench, right? And last night you have 2 guys. I think they combined for 19 points off the bench last night. So instead of just one guy scoring. So it gives your team a little bit more balance when Roddy Gayle plays like he played last night.
Yeah, man. A couple of the things that stuck out to me is how active he was off the ball. like he really worked off the ball last night. Whether it was like you say, like we was talking about, get active with cutting to the basket, running the floor, crashing the boards, and then so coming out of the break and realizing they having problems keeping up with him. And I'm thinking, okay, hey, let's ride that. Well, clearly, Paint, great coach, he saw that, and you saw coming out of the break, man, they start running another man at him, Daniel. So Paint was like, "No, we ain't gonna let that. Yeah, he's y'all leading scorer. Clearly, y'all got something there. No, we ain't gonna let y'all ride that."
He
And
definitely
so,
had to match find him in transition.
right, and so he was not gonna let Roddy Gayle have another half like he had in the first half. So that's a recipe based on what we had seen for Roddy. Oh man, Roddy about to have a lot of turnovers. He had 1 turnover in the second half, Daniel. I was like, bravo, Roddy. And one sequence that really stuck out to me. So Kason got big relative to what Kason been getting, got big minutes, right? And so he gets it's later in the game, Kason takes a 3. It wasn't a bad shot, but it was a shot where I'm like, wow, that's confidence for a young fella taking that shot at this point in the game. He misses it. Roddy gets the rebound. Now, I could see Roddy going back up with that shot other times in the season. Roddy don't go back up with the shot, Daniel. Roddy makes the extra pass to Namari Burnett, who's wide open for a 3.
Yep.
Bucket. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, Namari relocated to the corner after the offensive rebound. I remember that play.
I'm like, man, that's Roddy's in this game. He's in the flow. He's feeling it. Smart basketball play. Not careless with the basketball. Man, he's playing some good basketball right now.
Yeah, there was another play in transition where we've seen him go up and try, like my dad's been coaching basketball for 40 years, and every time somebody does like a reverse layup or some sort of scoops, he's like, man, this Mickey Mouse scoop-de-doo bull crap. And we've seen Roddy do that a couple of times, right? But last night he got out in transition and he went up, and instead of reversing it, he dropped it off to Reuben Jones at the front of the rim for a finish right there in front. So he was definitely locked in, making better decisions with the basketball than he had been in the last few games.
Let's talk about Vlad, though, man. Let's talk about Vlad. Because Vlad, if there was a microcosm of what Dusty was talking about needing to be more physical, needing to raise your level as a team, raise your level of physicality and intensity. Is what I was talking about coming out of that game. That play where Trey Kaufman ran, it was 3 straight dribbles. I was talking to you about it. I was like, man, Daniel, he took 3 straight dribbles and basically bullied Vlad every time. He knocked him to the rim every time. Like, how is this happening? So now you watch the first half of that game, and it's clear Trey Kaufman is just he's just the stronger man. Which is
Trey was dominating for the most part last night. I think I'm gonna let you finish your what you were saying. But go ahead, I'm gonna let you finish. Then we'll get to the Trey Kaufman stuff.
He's just the stronger guy. Okay, and which is fine. Just because he's the smaller stature guy,
lower center of gravity.
Sometimes, that's just he can be the stronger guy, but that don't mean you concede. That means, okay, what you said earlier in the show, Daniel, about how they wore Braden Smith down. They ran different guys at him. They wore him down over time. You can wear Trey Kaufman down if you go at him on the other end.
Yeah, that's not what happened with Trey Kaufman. Trey Kaufman fell victim to the Big Ten officials. He spent 2 for 1, and part of it is his fault, right?
I hear you.
he spent too much time after he picked up a second or third foul when Danny drove to the rim, and he jumped straight up, and the refs gave Danny the foul, right? So ever since that point, I think they gave him his second or third. From that point on, he spent the entire time arguing and talking to the officials. So they stuck it to him the rest of the game.
I know.
Like,
I know
let's be clear.
I know that didn't happen to him. That's
let's
my
be
point
clear.
is that didn't happen to him.
Yeah,
They didn't, and that was my issue. It was like, wait a minute, man. This dude is punking you.
Yeah.
He is punking you. In the first half, he is going in your chest just like down in West Lafayette. Then you come out the break, and he really going to town. And at some point, clearly, Dusty must, and I didn't really see the exchange, but I guess Dusty must have said something to Vlad, because Dusty said the post-game press conference, I know Vlad probably doesn't like me very much. Which is strange for me to hear Dusty say that. I can't imagine somebody not liking Dusty very much, right?
Right.
But Dusty said Vlad probably don't like me very much, which is fine. But he's probably saying what I'm saying right now, like, hey, man, hey, we can't just be having my man just beasting you up and down the floor the whole game.
Whip your ass up and down the floor. That's what he told me. Let's be clear.
We can't just be having this, man. Come on, man. We at least got to give it back to him on the other end.
Right.
And clearly the message was received about 9 minutes into the second half.
Yeah.
Because at that point, because Vlad had 2 points and 1 rebound in the first half.
Yeah.
And then suddenly in the second half, he gets 10 points and 4 rebounds. Right? He goes up between 2 guys and gets an and 1. And he beats the rebound, and he starts doing things where it's kind of like, okay, he wakes up and starts playing better, more physical, more emotional basketball, which is what you needed to see.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all. Just give it back to him, or give it back to them some. I know you talking about the officials, Daniel.
Yeah, he got on that and one. On that and one, he got a little bit of a little home cooking on that and one too. he turned into the point guard on the base double. But that's what you want from him, right? Most of the time with that base double, a lot of guys turn right there and they wilt against the contact. Vlad played through the contact, and sometimes when you're the aggressor, when you're playing physical, when you're meeting the challenge, you get the benefit of the whistle. So it's not like it's some conspiracy, right? That he got a favorable whistle. No, like he earned it. He turned and he went strong, played through the contact, and he finished. So he definitely displayed the level. Like you can't, like you said, it can't just be one way where this guy is just kicking you the whole time, right? You got to punch and kick back at some point, big fella. And like you said, the last about 8 to 10 minutes of the game, he definitely punched back.
Hey, man. Hey, earn those flops, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, you go. Earn them.
Hey, that's one thing I hope he cleans up a little bit. I hope they're having a conversation about that, because
hey, man, listen.
You get a reputation for doing that, man. It can work against you too.
I say you should get some home cooking, because early in the game,
for sure.
Danny goes up for a rebound, gets it, and then they come and hacking from behind, and then the ref lets it go. And then the Purdue dude gets the ball, and then they slap the ball from him, and then they call the foul. Like, hold up, man, ain't we at home? Like, what's that? Like, come on, man. You gotta take account of how the referees are calling the game, and you make the adjustment. Okay, if that's what they let go in tonight, it's gonna be a scrappy game tonight. Let's get to it. And Michigan got to it. Yeah, man. So I appreciate these dudes understanding that we can't just be whining about they just so physical with us.
Yep.
We when in Rome, you know what they say. When in Rome, man, they do what they do. Yeah. Like, come on, man. You gotta get with the program.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a physical and a scrappy Big Ten game last night. It wasn't about, like, sometimes you want at the end of the games, you want to see good execution and see who has the skill and the cohesiveness to execute beautiful patterns and run plays and get wide open looks against tough defense. But last night wasn't about any of that. It was about who was going to make multiple efforts on defense, who is going to block out, who is going to put their body on the line with a guy's driving, or like you said, to get a rebound or a defensive rebound, offensive rebound or defensive rebound to finish a possession, who's going to be the first to the floor, right? Who's going to bully guys over ball screens and not let guys just come off a pick and roll easy against the dropper. So it was about all the little things that it takes to win a Big Ten game this time of year. And we did enough of those things to win.
Yeah, that gets you ready for an Ohio State team that's going to be ready to box. When you go down there on Sunday, they beat Purdue, right? That's the Purdue team that you saw in West Lafayette. I mean, that Ohio State team beat Purdue
in West Lafayette,
and then had Purdue ready to run you out the gym the next game, right? You know, so Ohio State is going to be ready for you. Then you got to play Michigan State, who just lost to Indiana, by the way, Daniel. You know,
goes to Bob Knight,
right? Hey, Bob Knight. Hey, those Hoosiers was like, they were like, "Hey, no, not today, Izzo. Not today, Izzo." Now we
not
know,
breaking the record against us.
we know that the Spartans can't shoot. They still, Izzo was like, "I know we can't shoot, but we still gonna beat y'all. But I'm still gonna get this record today." So come on down, Steve Mariucci. Come on over, Steve Smith. He had all his people. He was so sure they were going to win. He had all his people there.
Now he's got to travel to every game until he break it down.
Hey, think about that, Daniel. He had everybody there.
Everybody there.
Hey,
so does that mean they're going to travel? So are they going to travel to their next game with him? Are they going to be like the Izzo band until he finally breaks the record?
If you Mike Woodson, you stepping out at the end of the season. What that say? You walk in the gym. He got all his folks at the game. Hey, we got this record won already, Mike. You might as well not even show up to this one, brother. Because we about to get this one. That's what
if I'm Mike Woodson, for them to go in and win that game last night, I watched a good amount of that game. For them to go in there and win the game the way they won that game, like, I probably won't talk to anybody on the plane ride home or on the way back to Bloomington. Because where's that been all year? Right? You go on the road and beat the second place team in the Big Ten and were, pretty much winning the whole game. Where's that been all year?
Right.
So, I don't feel bad for Mike Woodson, right? You're the coach of the team, it's your program, but these kids will let you down, boy.
Well, I think that all that NIL money they spent, I don't think that the way he assembled that team was well conceived.
They had the #1 portal class, right?
They did.
Yeah.
I think they assembled a lot of talented pieces, but I don't think that they fit together
right
very well personally. Like I remember thinking, like, man, I don't think he has enough shooting on that team personally. I thought the floor was going to be real congested.
It's kind of amazing the lack of shooting in the conference period, though. Like, who name a team in the conference that's like just a big time 3-point shooting team? Michigan is a really good offensive team, but we've seen their 3-point shooting percentages dip over the last couple of weeks too. So
that's a great point. And you look at Michigan, some of the guys that you expected to be really good 3-point shooters have been subpar. So Sam has not been the 3-point shooter you expected him to be. Reuben Jones hasn't been the 3-point shooter you expected him to be. And I think that's part of what, if you listen to Dusty, that's part of what makes him think there's another level to reach.
Yes.
Like he said last night, you haven't seen the real Reuben Jones yet. And he emphasis on yet. Like, okay, can you still see it? Sam Walters.
It's only 5-6 games left.
Sam Walters sat out last night for family reasons. Can he still get on track? Roddy, can he find some rhythm here late? K-Sign must be doing something in practice for him to get that level of trust against Purdue. I was like, man, that's saying a whole lot.
Hey, Sam, when you got guys out there giving the effort they gave last night, you got to play them guys. You have to, or what you're trying to do to Braden Smith and those guys, and Trey Kaufman, which is wear them down, you end up wearing yourself down if you only do that with 7 or 8 guys. You got to play 9, 10 guys if you're trying to play the way to match that physicality and that intensity. You got to play 9, 10 guys. You're going to get tired yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's get ready to turn the page so we can bring our this young fella DG into the mix. Before we do, we got to tell the folks if they have places to go in this inclement weather, because they will get you there safely on time every time. They should ride on Goldin. See, because Goldin has a track record for safety. I remember that I had to get up north. I had to get to Mount Pleasant in a blizzard. We were doing an event at Soaring Eagle Casino because I had done a charitable event here in Ann Arbor. So I wasn't able to beat the snowstorm. And because I wasn't able to beat the snowstorm, I did not want to drive through the blizzard. And so the radio station, WTKA, said, you know what? We are going to call Goldin Limousine to drive you to Mount Pleasant. And when I say that driver drove me through the inclement weather, through blowing snow, through a driving blizzard, and I felt safe. I felt like I was being escorted with the most professional, the most safety conscious service around. That is Goldin Limo. That is luxury transport. That is executive transport, whether you're talking about your navigators, your aviators, or when you get up into the larger size vehicles, your sprinters, your party buses, or then when you get into your large size vehicles, like your luxury motor coaches, which teams travel on. Goldin will get you there on time, every time. Ben, would you please drop that track?
If you have ground transportation needs, get to your destination on time, every time with Goldin Limo. Ride like the Wolverines. Feel like a Wolverine when you ride with Goldin Limo, the proud transportation partner for many of Michigan's sports teams and the primary transportation provider for Michigan Wolverines football. All you have to do to book your Goldin ticket reservation is go to goldinlimo.com/Goldin ticket or call their team at 734-668-8282 and mention Goldin ticket to book your transportation reservations today.
So, fellas, it is with great pleasure, DG, that I bring you the news that the Ohio State Buckeyes have themselves a new defensive coordinator. I think that this is an outstanding development. I tell you that Ryan Day, sometimes you find yourself falling up the stairs. Sometimes your next move is your best move. Sometimes you have what you call a fortuitous bounce.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what has occurred for Mr. Ryan Day. I mean, maybe Jim Knowles did him a favor. Because as I said to Daniel Horton, he went and found himself a coach who has been a coach on Superbowl teams, who was tutored by arguably the best coach in history. I mean, this guy's coaching acumen is second to none. He has head coaching experience himself. And now you brought him on to coach your defense. This guy is a savant. Just ask him. He'll tell you himself how good a coach he is. I tell you, This is a guy who I think is a home run hire for those Buckeyes. Ryan, you did a great job. Splendid, I must say, in hiring Matt Patricia. This is a grand slam. They say third base, I say home run. Home run hire. Home run hire. Matt Patricia to the Buckeyes. I love it. I love this hire, Devin Gardner. I love it. This is outstanding.
Yeah, man. Everybody knows why you feel this way, because you are a big-time Lions fan, and Matt Patricia with the Lions was, dare I say, a disaster in every way. And the defense wasn't great. He eventually became offensive coordinator, so he knows a lot of ball. So you might be right. Right? He became an offensive coordinator in the NFL. I don't think there are many guys that have been an offensive coordinator in the NFL, a Super Bowl defensive coordinator, and a head coach. He's literally done it all. He's done it all. So, I mean, you got to give applause to Ryan Day. I mean, my question is, what do you know why Jim Knowles left, or is what?
Do I know why? Well,
gossip on that.
You wanted to tell me? Want me to tell you what I heard?
What you heard?
So I heard they lost the Oregon game. First of all, I heard Jim Knowles.
Oh, then I know what happened then. I know what happened. Jim Knowles say, you ain't going to talk to me crazy. I already know then. Who you think you about to blame? Okay. So you think you're going to talk to me any kind of way because your butt is hot. No, I'm a grown man. I don't need this. And guess what? Now I'm going to go to somebody who can't get over the hump, and I'm going to get him over the hump against you because I know everything about you. That's what you heard. I can see that.
Hold on. We got to let Sam. I need to hear this. So what happened, Sam?
Oh, hey man. So they pretty much nailed it. So they lose to Oregon, and they having problems getting to the quarterback. They having problems on defense. Defense is the problem, mind you. The offense
lost the game.
Lost the game.
It was first and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Offense lost the game, but defense the problem, right? Defense not getting to the quarterback. Defense too complex. We need to simplify. We need to lessen the calls. And so between this is what I hear. I want to qualify that. Between you got Larry Johnson over here. He's a lot to deal with. This is what I hear from Jim Knowles' perspective. This is not my opinion. This is what I hear was Jim Knowles. A lot to deal with Larry Johnson. Then you got old boy who feeling the heat. Now he got to have some input on the defense. Hey, man, what you know about defense? You as last I checked, you did hire Kerry Combs to coach defense, right? That's what you know about defense. Okay. So, but now you want to have some input. So I got to deal with that. I'm out after the season. I'm going to coach the rest of this year, but I'm done when this is over, right?
That's crazy because the way that defense played down the stretch, boy.
Hey, look how much talent they got.
Yeah, that's true.
They got so much talent. And so what the word amongst coaches was like, hey man, it's a staff of just everybody for themselves, but they just got so much talent that it didn't matter. It didn't matter that it's a bunch of me guys, that it's not really we all together.
We are one.
We all one. We don't have to be one when you got just our
Caleb Downs making every play from 53 and a half across 100 yards.
You got Caleb Downs on this side and Jeremiah Smith on the other side. You got the best dudes in college football. Yeah. And we don't have to play Michigan. Oh, if we don't have to play Michigan, we cool. We got to play Michigan. We got problems.
I would imagine it was on Chip Kelly, but after the Michigan game, too, I imagine both of their coordinators were pretty motivated through that playoff run.
Right. See, you saw the problem in the Super Bowl. You can't block them.
Can't block them. Can't do nothing with it.
Can't do nothing with it.
No matter how great you are.
Right.
You block them, especially if they only rushing 4. It's over. The game's over. because I don't think people understand the math on that. If they only rush 4 and get to you, no matter how many people say you only block with 5, they still got you outnumbered. They still got more guys back there than you got as far as in pass coverage. So, I mean, it's tough, man. It is tough when you don't have to blitz. Have you ever watched the Super Bowl and nobody blitzed?
Hey,
where the whole team didn't blitz?
I was talking about man Steve Clark this morning. He was like, they needed a better game plan. I said, what game plan could
there
be
is no
better?
game.
There's no game plan for not blocking them, man.
And I'm watching all these sports shows, and Patrick Mahomes didn't play well. And I will get on the table to say, no human that has ever walked this earth would have been able to do anything in that game at quarterback for the Chiefs. And people say, oh, well, Tom Brady. Tom Brady played that type of 4-man rush and lost to Eli Manning twice because of that game plan. No quarterback can perform under those conditions. A runner, a processor, a thrower, a pocket passer, whatever you want. Or you can mix them all in one. And Patrick Mahomes, there's nothing you can do when you're getting 4 guys to the quarterback. It's unbelievable. It was unbelievable what they were able to do. And shout out to Michigan Wolverine, Detroit Crockett grad. Detroit grew up, bred, Eastside Giants, Brandon Graham. He had a torn bicep early in the year. When I tell you, I've never seen a man bench press other humans the way he was bench pressing these people. How is he doing this? He was made in the lab. Brandon Graham was made in the lab. He got gray hair. I don't even know this man. Who are you? You got gray hair now. What are you doing? How'd you get that?
Hey, man.
And a torn
hold on real
bicep
quick,
just
Sam.
benching the quarterback.
Hey, real quick, Sam, before you move on. You remember what I told y'all earlier in the year when the Saints had scored 40 points in a row in 2 weeks, that we played the Eagles that third week? Remember I told you how their defensive line just obliterated the entire – we had like 3 offensive linemen hurt after that game.
It's not fair.
It was like the same thing. Like you see these guys, these front 4 for Philadelphia just destroy offensive linemen the whole game, bro. It was fun to watch, but it was also boring to watch at the same time because the game got
sad. It was sad. Like, dang, like he literally can do nothing.
Yeah, BG, I was talking to BG in the summer. He swore he was going to retire. I don't know if he is now. When you can do what he did with one arm, he tore his tricep, 7-8 weeks ago. He played was a miracle.
I thought he went out as a captain, and I was watching with other people. I'm like, oh no, there's no way BG playing. Ain't no way.
He couldn't lift his
arm.
No
way. And then
he goes out there, Juwan Taylor. I would cut him.
You can't let that happen to you.
I would cut Juwan Taylor if I was the Kansas City Chiefs. BG could not lift his arm, and he literally threw Juwan Taylor. He literally throws Juwan Taylor on the play where he got the holding call.
Yep.
I remember reacting.
It's like the kid couldn't do anything.
Did you see that? And my wife and mother-in-law was like, what are you talking about? I said, you ain't see what he just did? And it was a holding call. I said, you got to see what he just did. He throws the man in the backfield with one arm. Brandon Graham.
Oh, my God. What a glorious career. I don't know if he's going to get in the Hall of Fame. I think that at some point it has to be a discussion because they've been trying to cut him since they drafted him, and he won't let them. They minimize his snaps to see if he can produce. He produces. He tore his Achilles, had the best season of his career the next year as far as sacks are concerned. I mean, game-winning sack to win the Super Bowl against Tom Brady. Yeah, and then comes and does this. Obviously, he should ride off into the sunset. I mean, what more can you do?
It's a coaching job waiting for him in Ann Arbor if he wants it.
Man, come on and do it.
but he ain't ready to hang him up.
I think he got to. You got to ride off to the sunset after the Super Bowl, right? You got to ride it. I want to. This franchise has to. Guess what? You drafted me, and I can say I'm pretty much the reason you got to. The culture, everything, and remember this too. I think this was strategic by Brandon. I ain't talked to him about this, but I'm gonna just go and jump out here. After he made his comments about the locker room and Jalen and how they need to get it together, everybody got some act right. And they went on a run that, in my opinion, is historic. Unbelievable. Round of applause for BG. Can we just get a round of applause?
Now, BG, he said he got that wrong. You think he got it wrong, or is he?
Well, he in the media. He got to say that afterwards. None of that matters now. But in the media, you gotta clean it up. Oh man, I got that wrong. Yeah, man, them two was beefed out. Because if you sit in the locker room and say, man, the passing game trash, that's basically what the man said. And this supposed to be your friend. You're clearly not friends anymore, especially the scrutiny that this quarterback is under, right? With his inability, the perceived inability to perform in the passing game. For you to go into the locker room and say that, you ain't rocking with him like you once did. Because there's no way you say that because you know where it's going to come. The heat ain't going to fall on you. It's not going to fall on the offensive line. It's not going to fall on the coordinator. It's going to fall on the quarterback that's been scrutinized since the very day they drafted him. So y'all can't be cool because Sam, tell me this. If I'm, calling games, I just ain't doing well. Are you going to tweet out, man, this Gardner, this game is trash that I'm watching right now, and it's my game? Are you going to tweet that out?
No, I'm not.
And furthermore, the announcing. The game's trash, but the announcing is really what I'm talking. Are you going to say that?
No, I'm not.
No matter how bad it is, will you say that on Twitter?
I will not.
Then there it is. They wasn't rocking together. But the thing is, you got an adult at quarterback. He ain't about to let that do that. He is an adult every single time you see him, every time he speaks. And I am so happy he got himself a Super Bowl because, obviously they're going to keep saying whatever they're going to say. But in the two biggest games of his life, he's performed outstanding and outplayed Patrick Mahomes in both. Come on, man. Come on, man.
The first one, he should have got way more credit than people.
Even Patrick Mahomes after that first one said, "Don't let what happened, the result, deter you from the way he just played on that other side."
Yeah, man. It was to me. I was actually he won this game. And
he was more impressive than the other ones.
People will recognize this game more because he won. But as far as how impressive he was, go back and watch that other game.
Yeah.
Just go back and watch it. I actually thought he was more impressive in the other game.
He was certainly more impressive in the other game. But in this game, he was extremely impressive.
He was.
Because to me, it looked like he was in practice. And I wouldn't say personally, the Chiefs defense was bad. I don't think they did a very good job of stopping the run. And guess what? Everybody's saying, oh yeah, of course he did that. They were stopping the run. No. Everybody said the path for the Chiefs is stop the run and Jalen won't be able to do it. Whatever it is, he won't be able to do what needs to be done. And so now the goalpost has been moved when they stop the run and he make it look like he had practice. Just dropping dimes left and right. Oh, you're going to drop everybody out? Did you forget I'm an outstanding runner? Okay, I'm just going to run right here, slide down. You can't hit me. Unbelievable. I don't think he was sweating after the game, honestly. When he was on the podium, he didn't look like he sweat at all. His paint wasn't even dripping. Like, it was nothing. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was one of the keys to the game, too, is that how easily he defeated Spags' blitz packages. Like, he carved that up running the football too. So it was an outstanding performance by him. Can't really argue with calling him the MVP from talking about his performance, but the MVP of the game was the defensive line.
Yeah, but you can't
give it.
Really, it's like 4 or 5. It's like 6. It's like they like 7 deep. You can't give it to 7 dudes.
Yeah, you can't.
And nobody singularly got enough sacks or whatever the case may be. Yeah. And to be completely honest, if they would have given it to somebody else, it would have been criminal. Because it's not just about how he played in this game, which he played really good. He had the one interception, but that they let a dude free. And 2 dudes didn't block anybody and let a dude free right in his face. He shouldn't have thrown it, I guess. However, that's ridiculous. It shouldn't happen. But how about keeping the team together? Your coach is arguing with fans. Everybody wants him fired. Your leader, Brandon Graham, put out some dirty laundry that maybe it catapults you, maybe you shouldn't have, whatever the case may be, but you still got to be the glue for every single person in the locker room. And if he's not their quarterback, regardless of what his talent level is, if he's not their quarterback, they don't win a Super Bowl. No chance. Man. They fall apart. If he's not the quarterback, his temperament, his attitude, his ability to lead, if he's not their leader, they crumble and they do not only make the Super Bowl, they don't win the Super Bowl. So there's no way anybody else should even sniff the MVP.
Rewind the tape and how close this team was to maybe not being on this stage.
Yeah.
They were talking about firing Sirianni. This team had Matt Patricia on staff. How ridiculous was that?
You're so crazy.
How ridiculous was that?
You know what this team remind me of? Michigan when they won the championship with all that garbage going on. That's what it remind me of, right? A lot of turmoil, right? Whatever the case may be, it's you cheated, you're this, you're that, whatever. But somehow everybody's staying together. Somehow, some way, everybody's staying together, and you go on and do it the way that you're supposed to with all those distractions.
Yeah. That's a good comparison. Because this team heading into the season, they were talking about firing Sirianni. He could be out after this year if they don't get it done. Offensively, man, they're real basic. And say what you want about is Jalen Hurts that guy. I thought it was less about Jalen Hurts and more about, man, they have really watered down the passing game. Have they watered it down too much and just made it too basic so they could favor the run game that much? I wondered about that. And then let's not forget, they hired Matt Patricia on the same team with Darius Slay. How smart is that?
That wasn't smart.
Now, unfortunately, they let Matt Patricia go, right? He was only there for one season. He was not on this team. So don't be thinking that Matt Patricia has another Super Bowl ring where he just tagged along. Because really, that's what he did on all those teams with the Patriots. He was just there.
And all those guys, Tom Brady was your quarterback.
He was just there as Bill Belichick's sidekick, as his tag along. He was just there as Tom Brady was the quarterback, right? What has Matt Patricia accomplished outside of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady? I'll wait.
He got hired to be the defensive coordinator for the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes. You talking about that's an accomplishment in my opinion.
At least you can say this about Ryan Day. He's won an I Can't Beat Michigan national championship. So he's done something. Matt Patricia hadn't busted a grape. He hadn't done a damn thing.
What did Matt Patricia do to you?
What did Matt Patricia do to me?
Never mind. We don't have enough time.
What did he do to me?
We don't have enough time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I asked you, Daniel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Into the ground.
Hey, Devin, show me where Matt hurt you.
I mean, you talk about a dude who tried to outthink the room when he was with the Lions.
He thought he was Bill, and
God,
and he ain't know he ain't have Tom Brady, so it's hard to be Bill. It's hard to be Bill without Tom.
They couldn't coach. They couldn't draft. Oh, they were terrible. They were terrible. Running talented dudes out of town. Ran Darius Slay out of town. I was like, what are you doing? You bums as coaches.
The one thing I will say, I'm happy for Darius Slay. That's really a Detroit championship. Maddox played at Martin Luther King. You got BG. You got Darius Slay, who is an honorary Michigan person. He's from it. He's not from Michigan, but he played with the Detroit Lions. You got Gardner Johnson. That Lions won the championship too a little bit.
That's how I feel about my Saints.
He said Matt Patricia is a football terrorist. Truer words have never been spoken. That is a great statement. Well put. Doggone it.
You know what I think is unfortunate for Ohio State is Matt Patricia just doesn't seem like a flexible person, like a person that can adjust, right? And the one thing you can say about Jim Knowles is he pivoted and adjusted throughout his tenure at Ohio State, right? He changed the way he called defense, right? He, obviously he got all these great pieces in the last year. But for me, it looked like he tried to adjust and try different things. It's just against Michigan. He just couldn't figure it out, right? And Matt Patricia, I feel like I just see him walking in with rings on his hands and I'm that guy. And I ain't going to either you figure out how to do it, how I'm telling you to do it, or there is no other way. My way, highway guy. And that's not how you can coach college football, right? I think he's going to realize fairly quickly that it's not that type of party, right? You're not going to be able to just roll in and guys are incapable of doing certain things that you want to do, or the things that you want to do should work in your head because it's worked before or whatever, and it's not working, but you don't know how to pivot and transform and transmogrify the way that you kind of call defense and the way you teach defense, the way you coach the kids. So I think that he's going to have to figure that out, and, he'll get a spring, but there's no fire in the spring, right? Everybody knows that. There's no fire, right? When the fire gets hot and everybody's expecting everything, right? Because you're going to be preseason number one, I would think, right? You're going to be expected to dominate. And I don't know if he's ready. If what he initially tries to implement doesn't work, I don't know if he's ready to transform and be collaborative in a way to make sure that they have the success they had this past year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great job, by the way. I know we started out talking about Matt Patricia to the Buckeyes. Love it. Love it. Great move. Great move, Ryan Day. Great move. Terrific. I think that's going to work out very, very swell.
Swell.
What's that? What's this all about?
Philly Eagles firing Nick Sirianni seems extreme due to his record. But think of this. Philly might not have this much offensive talent for another 100 years. If they want to maximize this window, getting rid of him is the only, let me reiterate, only options. Talk about a tweet that did not age well.
Right.
My goodness, that was bad. James Nagel. I wonder, does he have to answer for that? Because we bring ourselves to the table when we're wrong.
We do.
Does he?
Yeah,
He needs to answer for this, because this is, first of all, the man got a family, right? So you putting it out there, he should be fired. Not to mention, he is one of the winningest coaches since being hired, right? I think he's top 2 winningest coaches of all coaches in the NFL since being hired. So you're calling for a man who's done nothing but win to get fired, which means he won't have, obviously he'll still have food to feed his family, whatever. However, you're taking a little bit of food, a few Birkins out of his wife's closet, all these different things, and then he wins the Super Bowl. What is this guy saying now? Does he have a tweet out retracting all this stuff, or he can't just get him? People can't get away with this. And I'm not even saying because people have been wrong. Me, not a lot, right? But I have been wrong. I can say that, and. Not saying that he won't ever be wrong. This is just his opinion. But now you have to go fix it, right? Don't you? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just built a little different.
Dudes have a way.
But you can't just say strong statements like that and then don't say nothing when you're clearly wrong.
I hear you. People do that all the time, though. They say things and then they just gloss over the fact that they said it.
I love strawberries. What? What are you talking about? Stop talking about strawberries. You need to tell us why you said that and say something different this time. All this, and it's so funny. Everybody's still trying. I'm watching the sports shows. Everybody's still trying to justify, Jalen Hurts can't win a Super Bowl. How can you keep saying stuff like this? He just won the Super Bowl and won MVP.
They put it on something. They put it on something else. That the fact that the defense was so dominant, and it was defensive, but you can't. As you said.
So does Tom Brady have to give a couple of his Super Bowls back? Because I remember, if my memory serves correctly, the defense dominated those games in the beginning. Does he have to get some back? Is he not as great because he had a good defense? Is that his fault?
No, you have to give some context to Jalen Hurts' performance and say, look, wait a minute, he performed great the last time he was.
He did already. So it's not like it's just a
wait a minute. Oh, and he performed great in this one too. Okay, let's give the man his credit. Let's give him his credit.
Got to give him his credit.
He is really, really good.
Okay,
he is.
I'll
really,
be the first
really
to
good.
say it. I was wrong. I still don't think Sirianni provides anything of value. What? See? No, I'm done. I don't want to read no more. Because now
a backhanded compliment.
It's the backhanded. What do you mean he doesn't provide value? And I didn't even know this. I did a little research. He was a pretty talented wide receiver, right, at lower level in college. But this is a guy who knows offense, right? He's an offensive guy, and you wonder, man, the offense does perform well, right? He has some input, and the NFL coach is just like the college coach is becoming, right? An NFL head coach is the CEO, right? He's making sure everything is in order. This is why John Harbaugh can be so successful when he was the special teams coach, right? You are the CEO. Now some coaches have more input, right? Bill Belichick on defense, Andy Reid on offense, but that's not how it has to be. And it's made very clear that that's not how it has to be for you to be successful. right? You can cut the cookie many different ways, and I think they just proved that yet again.
Definitely more than one way to skin the cat.
They just because he had the best defensive line performance in the Super Bowl since the '85 Bears doesn't mean that man wasn't great, and doesn't mean that this coach isn't outstanding. He went out and put together the best defensive line since the '85 Bears. That takes some talent to do. That takes some foresight to do.
It's like people have never seen a talented team. We see talented teams all the time, right? Well, every year before the Cowboys play, what do we say? That roster is the best roster in football. Oh, how about the 49ers, right? Have they not had a dominant roster for the last few years? And they have won a lot, but not as much as Nick Sirianni, period.
Yeah, I tell you what, I watched that game and it told me, the Lions weren't ready. They weren't going to beat that team. I knew that before. Really know it now.
No.
And it also tells me they got some work to do. You got to go. You need to go do some work on your defense because you got to be able to win some games. Not a game with defense. You got to be able to win some games, plural, with defense. You aren't going to get on that level, but you got to be better than you were. And you got to work on your offensive line. For as good as the Lions were at their offensive line,
they can't see them.
You obviously going to run the ball better than the Chiefs. And you got a better offensive line than the Chiefs. You got to work on your guards.
Because that's where the problem is.
I'm about to say them two big D tackles. They.
You want to know what's so scary about the Eagles and their future? Their defensive line is young. Most of them.
Yeah.
They're not paying anybody, right? Their all-pro middle linebacker was a special teams player on another roster last year. They're not paying nobody nothing.
DG, don't do that. That stings, brother.
He played for your roster. Yeah, I forgot he was on the Saints.
Yeah, he played for
the Saints. And he's an all-pro now. He almost won Defensive Player of the Year. So you ain't paying him nothing, right? I mean, at some point he'll want to get paid, but he's a little older. I'm sure he's not like trending upward, right? However, he was outstanding.
He is.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it was a great year behind the greatest defensive line maybe in the history of football. Maybe I'm just saying. He was on. I'm sure the Saints ain't crazy, right? But they don't got that defensive line, so you can't roll free and just tackling drills all game. You know what I mean? But they're not paying anybody anything in that box. I'm terrified.
Yeah. Now the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line is booty. Yeah. I mean, it tells you the greatness of Patrick Mahomes that he is playing over some garbage. He just happened to run into a very special.
And that's the story everybody should be telling. How did they get here with those guards? How did they get there with humans that are getting bench pressed by a guy who tore his arm off earlier this year? That should be the story of like, man, dang, maybe we should appreciate that they are even in the Super Bowl to try to three-peat with the offensive weapons as far as the offensive line is concerned they have. Not to mention, still don't have like a legit number one wide receiver. Travis Kelce got old fast. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. And, I tweeted it out, but I'll say it here again. Colston Loveland, trade up to get him. Trade up to get him.
How many of them guys on that Eagles defense on rookie contracts? The D tackles, the D end, number 3 that came in with them from Georgia.
All the Georgia kids.
Cooper DeJean's on a rookie contract.
Cooper DeJean.
Quinyon Mitchell.
They're getting nothing but better and don't. It's just like when you have a young quarterback that plays well, Jaden Daniels. We're not paying him. So we can continue to build. They're not paying a lot of the players that were outstanding in the Super Bowl and the previous games before that. That's terrifying if you're the Detroit Lions or a Detroit Lions fan. Sam.
Yep. The Lions got a little bit of, that window of paying guys closing quickly. Now they're starting to pay these dudes. Kirby Joseph's contract coming up, right? You already paid him. I was saying, right? Aiden Hutchinson's contract about to start that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then, they're talking about, and I think they should, if you go all in this next year, go get Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
And that'd be good.
Yeah, you might have to blow it up once it's time to pay these guys.
But you got to win. You got to win. Just like the Rams. Who did it? The Rams did it. Hey, put all them chips in the middle, and you got to go win it. And then just blow that thing up, and then just be a playoff team from here on out.
Yep. All right, so we got to revisit something we talked about last week when you were out, DG. We was talking about the trade deadline in the NBA, and I'm bullish on that. I think the Dallas Mavericks made a huge mistake trading Luka. You got people in the stadium staging mass revolts, getting thrown out in protest, saying this is garbage. You traded a 25-year-old franchise player who's a 5-time All-NBA guy, who's taken us to the NBA Finals and took us to the Western Conference Finals at 21, NBA Finals at 25. And you traded him for a dude who is a top 10 player. He's 31, and you talking about Luka is out of shape. He, like what he say? Like I said last week, he smokes hookah, eat pizza.
Man, his nickname is Luka Doncic.
Okay. That may be.
Hey, Sam. I don't know. I saw this on the internet, and can I say this on why it happened? Because all that stuff don't matter the way he played. Because obviously everybody else needs to start doing hookah and drinking beers.
You preach it to the choir.
Now let me say this though. I think that this GM does not lose his job anytime soon because I think he had to trade him. And it's not my original thoughts. I stole this from the internet, but just hear me out. And this makes a lot of sense. So Mark Cuban would have never done this, obviously. Mark Cuban loved Luka Doncic. There's no chance of this happening with Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban traded Steve Nash in his prime, so
that's fine. Luka ain't Steve Nash. I can tell you that right now. I love Steve Nash. Steve Nash is great and all that.
He was the best. He was MVP.
Okay, you're gonna let me finish it because Luka Doncic right now is the best math ever, in my opinion, in most people's opinion.
Nah,
right now,
never. Dirk Nowitzki is the best math.
Go look at the beginning of Dirk's career, or really Dirk's
It's not about the beginning. It's not about. It's about the. If you say the best math ever is Dirk Nowitzki, is not even close.
Can I finish? Go look at Dirk's whole career and compare it to what Luka has done in the beginning, and that's all I'm saying. Let me finish. So. Obviously, Mark Cuban would have never done this. Love Luka. He even said it out loud that he thinks it's ridiculous, but he's not the majority owner anymore. It's a new majority owner. And apparently, the majority owner is a lady. I forgot her name. She wanted to build a new stadium for the Mavericks. They told her no. The city or whoever told her no. And then she said, okay, I'm going to move the team to Vegas. And they said no. And then she said, okay, I'm going to trade your greatest asset.
No, DG, none of that is true, bro.
Sounds plausible to me.
None of that is true.
Unless they are like not very, you can't say certain words and stuff, but they just aren't very smart. You don't trade a dude that just took your 1 year before he dragged a bag of peanuts to the semifinals, right? The conference finals. And then you get Kyrie, and I'm not going to say Kyrie was the reason, but then they go to the NBA finals. And then after that year, you say, go to another team. Give me the guy that's usually hurt.
No,
what?
No, it don't matter. Y'all keep talking about he took him there. So what if he gets you there and he's the reason why you get your ass kicked? Like, y'all got to stop. Like, this is starting.
He the reason you got there.
This is really starting to bother me. This is really starting to bother me when people start talking about Luka's untradeable. No, yes, he is tradable. We just saw him get traded. Right? We just saw him get traded. We just saw him get traded because of his lack of effort on one end of the floor. Luka is a great offensive player, and even that comes with caveats because no one else touches the ball. When he's on the floor, he's a ball dominant guy.
The other day.
And then on the other end, he's a cone. They have a 5-minute video of clips from the Western Conference Finals and the NBA Finals where the Timberwolves and the Celtics were blatantly, and the game plan was to attack Luka. You cannot win a championship that way, brother.
And guess what? Guess what else? With him being a cone, he's so great. They still went to the finals.
But they weren't gonna get back to it. They weren't gonna get back to the finals this year. That was a 1 year deal.
We won't know.
They're not gonna get back to the finals.
We won't know.
Right? And
what we do know is he dragged the team to the conference finals that you can't name two more players on.
Yeah, and just like
the championship.
Do you think the Timberwolves are going to make the Western Conference Finals this year?
I don't know, but I know Luka already went to the championship.
And they were in it last year. That happens all the time in the NBA.
Yeah, but they traded Carl Anthony Towns.
They traded their number two.
Where one team makes a run 1 year, and the next you don't hear from them for 3-4 years. That's the NBA. It happens like that.
No. Time out. You just said, okay, time out, Sam. Let me just, because he just said a team makes a run 1 year, the next year you don't hear nothing from them. Luka went to the Western Conference Finals 1 year. The next year went to
Oh
the
my God.
championship. What are you talking about?
And when they got there, they've won what 2 games in both of those rounds combined. It's not
They
about
lost.
getting there. It's about winning when you get there. That's my point.
crazy.
It's about
You
winning.
crazy. He's
Anthony
crazy.
Davis.
He's crazy.
Hey man, I had this discussion
Anthony,
last
He's
Anthony
crazy.
Davis, listen, I don't
He's
see
crazy.
when y'all talk football, I let y'all have it, right? Anthony Davis has led a team to it, has defensively as a defensive anchor and as the 5-man, he was a focal point of a championship winning team where we put the numbers up last time. He averaged them at 26, 12, and 4 or something like that, or 3 in the finals. Luka has never won anything
When the
in this
next time the
league.
Mavericks playing? Because I don't think KD gonna be there.
Luka has never won, and it's not. And Anthony AD's hurt right now,
like
right?
I said last
Yes, he's hurt right now.
Right, but the thing is, it doesn't matter if he's. It's one of the things. What he's gonna is he gonna be healthy come playoff time?
31-year-old injury
Is
prone guy.
he gonna be healthy come playoff time? And if he's healthy come playoff time, the Mavericks are one of the favorites in the West right now.
You're crazy.
I guess you didn't see him
Like I
play
said
before
last
the injury.
Like I said last week.
Did you see Luka play?
Hold on.
He had 15, 4, and 5 trying to figure out how to play,
Did
not
you
be
see
ball
him play?
dominant.
No.
Yes,
not
I saw the
stats.
game.
You talk about stats
DG,
because as
don't
a
do that.
defender,
DG,
he
don't
was
do
much
that.
better.
Don't do that, bro. I watch basketball all day, every day. Yes,
so
I saw
was
the
he
game.
not a much better defender?
Yes,
was
I
he
saw
not a
the-
much better defender in that game? Oh my god!
No.
Oh my god!
Listen, we had this
No.
argument last
God.
week,
Hey,
Devin.
bro,
You
we're not
you
gonna-
jumping
we're
into
crazy.
an argument.
He
So let
crazy.
me repeat some of the greatest hits.
AD is in the
Luka
MVP conversation.
led his team to
Led
the Western Conference
by
Finals
himself.
as a 21-year-old. Led his team to
Damn,
the
that
finals
means nothing if
as
you
a
don't win.
25-year-old.
Hey, bro, let me tell you something.
has
Basketball,
AD,
if
what
this
has
is not
AD led
football,
his team to? What has AD
this is not.
led?
Nobody cares if you make it somewhere and don't win. They made
What
it to
has
the West.
AD
Nobody cares.
led a team to? He has
Crazy.
not led a team to anything. That's number
AD
one.
Okay, so was he not a top performer in that
He was a
series
top
in
performer.
that
He
run?
did not lead a team.
So okay, give me your definition.
Anything.
What do you mean leading? He's not the ball handler in the group.
He wasn't the alpha.
If we come down and if every time we come down the
wasn't the
floor, we
guy.
run our offense through you, are you not one of the leaders on this team?
He
No.
wasn't the
You're not
pinnacle.
the.
Yeah,
We
see, that's why
said
you
the alpha. Every championship,
Bro, that alpha,
hey,
I'm gonna say, can we curse on here? Because I'm gonna give y'all some game about that alpha versus beta, Batman versus Robin stuff. Can we curse on here?
Hey, man,
That's the most BS talk in basketball. That Batman versus Robin. You do not win at a high level in basketball unless you have a team full of guys that are played that do their job.
Fool?
Ain't no Batman, he's Robin. If both of these guys are averaging 20, 25, 30 points a game, there is no Batman and Robin.
Yes,
We
sir.
have two Batmans.
On the Bulls, it wasn't no Batman and Robin.
There was Michael Jordan and the rest of them dudes. Pippen played his role. He was a great player, but he was not on the level. There's no sharing the nose. No, and with Shaq and Kobe.
He's crazy.
With Shaq and Kobe, there is no Batman and Robin. If you want to,
so the Lakers
when Kobe came of age, Kobe was a 30-point per game player in those series. Maybe the first year. I'll give you the first year. But after that, there's no Batman and Robin. When two guys are averaging 25 to 30 points per game, there is no Batman and Robin. Y'all got to cut that out, man. That's barbershop talk.
I won't cut it out, and you're crazy.
That's not real. So let me ask y'all something. So if
That boy
Shaq,
sweating, he's so crazy. He is sweating.
I'm
He's
sweating.
so
I got
crazy.
this big old sweater on. If Shaq was the guy, right, and he was putting up points and they were coming down playing through him, why is that not? How is Anthony Davis not considered the guy? If LeBron that was coming down playing through Anthony Davis in the half court the same way the Lakers were playing through Shaq.
You can't seriously be telling me.
I'm being
He is serious. That's the problem.
You cannot seriously be telling me you think AD was on the level of LeBron.
Yes, he was.
Come on.
He was on the same level
Sam,
as LeBron.
Why you arguing with this man? Guess what AD has the unique opportunity to do? Prove it. He got Kyrie, who's just as good. I'm talking about he is really good. Now you get to be the not alpha. You get to be the leader, whatever you want to call him, and he'll have his chance.
All that alpha. I'm this guy. Well, you got two guys of those quality of that caliber.
Okay, so who
alpha,
is it?
Man, come on, man.
What is it for the Mavericks? Right? Who is it? Is it AD then Kyrie? Are they both like same level? What
They
do
the
you
same
say for
level. AD and Kyrie are the same level. They're both NBA champions. They
This
both
boy
have
crazy.
been. So who's the alpha in Dallas?
I don't know. That's
So-
the problem.
so-
Exactly. They're
on
both
the
great.
Cavs
They're both,
team, on the
bro.
Cavs
They're
team,
both
they won
top
it.
10 players.
They
in the
both
NBA.
can't
There
win
is
without
no alpha.
LeBron.
So on the
They're
Cavs
both
team,
top
they won
10
it.
players in the NBA. There is no
They both
alpha.
can't win without LeBron.
Like if they played the same position and one had to defer to the other, then I would maybe lean towards what you're
They
saying.
both can't
They
win
don't
without
play the same
LeBron.
position. They don't even affect the game the same way.
They
So for
both
you to
can't
say
win
that
without
one person-
LeBron.
So for you to say one person had a greater effect on the game than the other when they're both dominating at their respective position, that's not real basketball talk. That's barbershop talk.
They both can't win without LeBron.
That's not real. That's not real barbershop shop.
But okay,
That's barbershop talk. That's not
we're not
basketball.
We're not going to agree
Is
on
we
this.
not in the barber shop?
We're not going to agree on this. We're not going to agree on this.
No. Somebody agrees on this. And it is the two people with the same brain.
Yeah.
Me and Daniel argued about this last week.
And he was crazy last week. He crazier for doubling down this week.
So,
Hey, when you saw the Mavericks play before AD went down, what did they look like?
okay,
AD did what?
What
He
did they
went what?
what did they
He went
look like?
Right. So
What
this
he had
point.
through 31 minutes and 3/4, he had 26, 17, and what?
Right in one game, and so
And
this is the
7
point.
assists.
This is the point. How
Like, come on,
ironic
man,
is it though?
Like, cut it out, bro.
When you
Y'all tripping.
complain as the Mavericks about Luka's availability,
Availability is crazy.
you talk about he's out of shape. He's smoking hookah and he drinking this beer and he
They
ain't-
acting like he was
he ain't
Joel
available.
Embiid.
And the history of Anthony Davis is that he hasn't been available.
But it's not about that. That's all.
But
extra.
Sam,
It's
but
extra.
Sam,
It's
he
not
don't do
about that.
hookah.
It's
just
about
his
who
body
gives you
failing him.
it's about who gives you the best chance of winning when you get to that moment. And
How
if
you gonna get there?
And the way the Mavericks are constructed, AD at the 4 gives them a better chance of winning the championship than having two dominant people in the backcourt. It's not gonna happen.
How they gonna get there?
His
It's
history,
not gonna happen. They are a much more balanced team that's capable of winning a championship
That
now
may
than
be.
previously.
that may be, but his history, their complaint, one of their primary complaints was he's hurt. His availability. You're talking about skill set. He's in effort. He don't give effort on the defense end. That's part of their complaint.
But he's missed games in the playoffs too.
Okay, that's part of their
And he's
complaint.
younger.
They're part of their
LeBron had more rebounds, more assists, one less steal.
He's gonna have more assists. He has
What are
the
we
ball in his
talking
hand.
about?
He's the guard. He has the ball in his hands.
What about rebounds?
Bro,
What about rebounds?
Bro, y'all got that's what I'm saying. When you don't understand, it's hard to explain that assists.
What about rebounds?
A lot of assists. That shit is uncontested.
We
It's
talking.
like,
We
what you talking
getting off
about?
we getting off the point. We got to get back to the point that we own. The other part that they complained about was availability. The irony of complaining about the availability of Luka Doncic when you're trading for a guy who in his career has missed a ton of games. And for the past year and a half, he's been
all
more
right.
available.
Yeah, he was
But
more
for the
available.
lifespan of his career
Hurt.
has been classified
The
as
glass
a
man.
street clothes guy.
But
That's
that
his
don't. But
nickname.
that. But if they're
And
both, if
he
they
plays one game, and now he's on the show for.
Like,
a
let me
whole-
ask you something, right? If you're the Mavericks and you have these concerns about Luka, and you know he has these personal things, where he, like you said, the hookah, the beer, whatever they know
So
about
you
him.
telling
that
me
we-
every NBA player
listen,
ain't smoking?
listen. Let me
beer?
finish. Let me finish. Every NBA player don't have the body that Luka has. That body, Luka definitely needs to focus on his body more. But whatever they know about Luka that we don't know, right? Do you think he's going to be more healthy or less healthy moving forward throughout his career if he was to continue? Though now that he's with LeBron, I think he's going to learn things to prepare himself for a season and be better, right? But if he would have stayed in Dallas without this guidance that he's going to get from LeBron being a Laker, if he stayed in Dallas and he continued along the path he was going, do you think he was going to be more healthy or less healthy the next 10 years of his career?
So
I think he was going to
I'm
keep putting the
say to you
ball
what
in
I
the
said
cup
last
at a
week.
high level.
Yeah,
I'm
he'll put
saying-
ball
what
when
I'm
he's healthy.
saying
He's
to you
a hell of a
is,
player.
Daniel, there
No,
are less-
answer no. Answer my question. With his habits and his conditioning, do you think over the next 10 years he was going to be more healthy or less healthy than he is right now? He stays hurt now as a young man.
We
So
don't
he's
know,
gonna
but
be
we know
more
for a
healthy
fact
or less
AD
healthy
is
moving
hurt
forward?
right now. We know hurt. We don't know about the future. We know AD is hurt right now.
Yeah, for a month. Well, that's fine. That's okay.
No,
AD needs to be ready for the
You're-
playoffs. It don't
so-
matter right now.
what's your stance, Daniel? Are you just gonna sit there and not change anything? You
No,
sit there.
because Sam, nothing's been proven. If the two, actually,
One
both
thing's
things
been
can
proven:
be true.
Luka can take a team to the finals.
No, listen, let me finish, Sam. Let me finish my question. Both teams won the trade. The Lakers have their star for the future after LeBron is gone. They have somebody that's going to put butts in the seats. And the Mavs have what they wanted, which is a guy that can help them win now and move them forward now.
You traded for a guy who has not proven he can lead a team anywhere.
Sam, he's an NBA champion and averaged 25 and 12 in the
So
finals.
is Robert Horry. So is Robert Horry.
Robert Horry didn't average 25 and 12 in the finals.
So is
Devin.
Derek Fisher, NBA
Derek
champion.
Fisher
Stop
didn't
leading
average
with that.
25 and 12 in the finals, Devin.
What?
Derek Fisher nor Robert Horry averaged 25 and 12.
Well,
in
they
the
didn't
finals.
get to play with LeBron, who
No,
attracts
it
all
ain't
the
about
attention.
who you played with. They're not talented enough to average 25 and 12 in the finals.
So
guess who else ain't? Guess who else won't?
Y'all got to
know.
stop with the AD disrespect. He's one of
Guess
the
who
top
else
five,
we won't know if they can do it without LeBron?
Big man in the NBA,
AD.
bro. Cut it out.
We won't know. We won't know.
In the NBA. Cut it out.
You
We
keep
won't know.
talking about
Cut it out.
now that he's with LeBron, he's gonna have better habits. He wasn't gonna change if he had stayed in Dallas. That's if you suppose that if he stayed in Dallas and they were just gonna stand pat and not do anything to change his circumstance.
They can't change the circumstance. He has
how
to
can
change
they
the
not?
circumstance.
So then
Can I ask you a
Because
question?
he's been there
Can
for
I ask you a
5 years.
then
Hold on,
you're
Sam.
incompetent.
He's been
You're
there for
incompetent.
5 years, and he was drinking beer in the locker room after he won last year. They don't have the power to
then
change
you're
him.
incompetent.
He drink
You're
alcohol and they
incompetent.
win.
Then you're
They don't
incompetent.
have the power
You're
to
telling me,
change him.
no, you're incompetent then, not you, them. They're incompetent.
No,
then.
it's not.
Yes,
That's
they are.
not the
Can
case.
I ask a question?
No,
You're
Sam.
telling me-
No, Sam.
You're telling
Listen
me
to
the
me.
only
A
thing
A
they
guy
can
of
do.
Luka's status, the only guy that's gonna be able to get to him
You're
is a
telling
guy
me the
like
only
LeBron.
move, the only move they
guy
had the
like
wherewithal to
LeBron.
make is trading him.
Can I ask a question?
The only move they could do is trade him.
No,
They
Can I
can't
ask
do
a question?
anything
Or
other than
you
that.
got to bring in
Come
you
on,
got to
man.
bring in a veteran that he's gonna listen to, and there's nobody.
right.
Hey,
But
That's
there's nobody in the league that's of that
Nobody,
quality
come on,
that he's
man.
gonna listen to.
How do you know
hey,
that?
I'm raising
Because
my
do
you
you
hand.
know
know
what
that?
I'm saying? Because he's Luka Doncic. You got veterans. You got Michael
How
Finley.
do you
and
know
raising
that?
my
You
hand.
got Michael Finley and Jason Kidd in the locker room with him now, and he's not
Hey guys,
listening to him.
can I raise my hand? I'm raising my hand. Can I just ask
What-
Daniel, a
what are
basketball
you
guy? I
talking
just want to
about?
ask a basketball question. Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Daniel, I want to know. So AD has been habitually hurt all the time.
No, we're not going there.
No. Okay.
You
Can I
start-
just
you
ask the
started off
question?
wrong. You started
Okay.
off wrong.
AD has been hurt very frequently. Is that a fact?
Not the last year and a half, 2 years, but yes.
Okay,
that,
but
yeah.
for the majority of his career, he's been hurt a lot. And Luka has had some injury, but not nearly as much. Can you say that's a fact?
He's missed a lot of games as well if you look at the numbers.
So how come AD is just living so right, and Luka's problem with his injuries is just that he drink too much? Why? How come,
I didn't say
how
Luka.
come we can't investigate on what AD's doing to keep getting
Devin.
hurt?
No, you jump into conclusion. I didn't say Luka stayed hurt because of his habits. I said because of his habits moving forward for 10 years as he gets older, do you think his body's going to be able to withstand those habits? I don't think so. That's the point. AD hurt. I don't know why AD stay hurt because you watch him train with LeBron in the summer. You have these
Man, you see some
hold
clips.
on, wait a
I'm
minute.
not trying to hear that.
Let me ask you a question. You have these things where people show AD coming into the season the best shape he's ever been in, and he still just gets hurt for some reason.
So because Luka
But
don't post his
it's different
workouts.
when a guy comes in and he looks like he's been drinking beer and smoking hookah all summer. And
Maybe he's just
15
a big
pounds
dude.
overweight.
Like,
Nah, I'm telling you, it don't work. I played
no
in
matter
Miami.
how hard
I
Luka
played in
worked,
I
he not
played in
getting
Miami
ass.
with Shaq and D Wade, and eventually and they used to do that type coming to the season out of shape, and eventually, bro, that catches up with you. And as you get older, when you're 23, 24, you maybe can get away with, okay, I'll be in shape in December, right? But now when you get older, you can't do that, bro. You gotta be in shape, bro.
Well,
You gotta
AD
be in
31
shape.
and he hurt again. So
Yeah, I mean, it was a freak injury in the middle of a play. You
freak.
can't do nothing
It
about
was an
that.
AD injury, is what it was.
He
People
hurt his
didn't
groin.
touch him, and he got hurt again.
He hurt his groin, so I can't.
Get out the car hurt,
Hey, it's a soft tissue injury. Ain't nothing you can do
which
about
is
that.
something you can
As
control
long-
by
as long
having
as-
great hydration.
As long as
I'm glad you said that. Time out. He has a lot of soft tissue injury, which means drinking, doing things, not getting your sleep, not drinking your water, not getting the
7'1", bro.
electrolytes you need. That will cause
He's
that. You can avoid soft
7'1".
tissue. You can avoid it.
Not drinking enough electrolytes is totally different than smoking hookah and drinking beer on a regular basis.
You can avoid soft tissue. You can avoid soft tissue. No, don't laugh through this. You know that's as an athlete, if you hydrate enough and do the things you need to do, you don't get soft tissue. Why is he still getting soft tissue?
So if it's about hydration, we get into the weeds now. If it's about hydration, right? He just traveling back and forth between Dallas and LA because of a trade, right?
Ain't no water on the plane?
No, but still, you know travel affects you. So he get that. Then he's played 31 minutes halfway through towards the end of the third quarter. He's played 31 minutes of a possible 36 minutes.
Okay.
So that was probably a recipe for disaster. They probably shouldn't have played him as much.
So what about all the soft tissues before? It wasn't because of the plane too?
No, I don't know. I'm just giving you
what he need to do what he need to do. And it sounds like he's drinking a lot of beer and hookah too.
No, he ain't drinking no beer and hookah.
So you telling me AD don't do hookah or beer, nothing?
No, what I'm saying is it's not documented like in Dallas he has a nickname. Like I'm in the community we call him Luka Doncic, bro, for a reason.
Even at Kentucky, he was hurt. This boy crazy. And he was doing weird stuff in the locker room.
Hey,
I'm not taking him over Luka ever.
No. You got
so can I ask you this? If Luka was such a nuisance, like you just can't get a hold of him.
I didn't say he was a nuisance. It's more of a basketball thing than it is.
Well, if you get traded at 25 as a top 5-6 player, you've got to be a nuisance. So if he's such a problem,
AD got traded as a top 5 player at 26 years old. I mean, we've seen this before.
It was a totally different thing. Obviously, totally different.
We've seen this before.
They traded AD because the Lakers wanted him and they weren't going anywhere. That's totally different.
The Lakers wanted Luka. The Lakers and the Mavericks wasn't going nowhere.
As I was saying, they just went to the finals last year. I was saying,
AD wanted to leave. Luka didn't want to leave.
As I was saying, why would your greatest Maverick ever go to LA, sit in them stands at 7 feet tall with people in his knees to watch that first game of Luka if he's such a problem?
Wait, say it again.
Why would the greatest Maverick, in your opinion, who is 7'1", go sit in them small stands? I've been there. Small stands to watch.
Live in LA.
If he's such a problem, why is he there?
I never said it was a problem for either team. I'm not the one saying that either team lost a trade. If Sam would be quiet and listen long enough, I said that both teams won the trade. The Mavs got what they wanted for the short term,
but that's not
and
true.
The Lakers got their star for the long term.
So they wanted somebody hurt
in the seats and keep the Lakers in a position to build around a star, which the Lakers have always had throughout their existence in the NBA. They always have a guy that's going to put butts in the seats. They have him now post LeBron, and the Mavericks have what they want. In negotiations, most of the time when teams make a trade, both teams are happy. If both teams are happy, nobody lost a trade.
Hey, can you get on the table and say what the Mavericks going to do this year? Can you get on the table right now, please?
Only one of the Dallas who think
Sam, can we allow Daniel to get on the table? What are the Mavericks going to do?
No, actually, because I'm in the Dallas community, I have people in the Dallas community. There's two parts of the Dallas. There's a part that's the Dirk Nowitzki's fans and the old fans that want a certain look for the Mavericks. Yeah, they hate the fact that Luka Doncic is gone. But there's other people in the part of the Mavericks faction that feel like, hey, we got better defensively and we can win now with the guys we got. So there's two parts of the Mavericks. Don't sit there and paint it like, oh, everybody's like, oh, they so upset they lost.
Daniel, can you get on the table and say what the Mavericks going to do?
No, I'm not a Mavericks fan. I'm actually a Lakers fan.
Oh, you a basketball guy, though. Make your choice. Or what are they going to do this year?
I don't care. That's not how I view basketball, brother.
Man, come on.
I don't view
basketball. You're an analyst now. You're an analyst, and we are looking to you for basketball knowledge. I need you on the table to tell us what the Mavericks going to do.
No, I'm not a Mavericks fan. I do not care enough to
We're not talking about fans. This is your job.
I analyze
you are an analyst. What are they going to do?
I analyze what I see, not make predictions.
I can tell you right now, they ain't going to no finals.
That's your prediction. I don't know. It's a lot of basketball to be played.
Oh, now he don't know.
It's a lot of basketball.
When they went to the finals last year with Luka, the parking cone, they went to the finals with a parking cone last year.
If I had to put my money on it, I'm betting the Celtics go win it again. That's what I'm betting on.
I said go to the finals.
I'm not doing all that other stuff.
Who coming out of the West?
Who coming out of the West?
Pick somebody. OKC, the Nuggets, the Mavericks, the Rockets got a chance if they play well.
So the Lakers not.
I don't think so. No, not with two guys that can't defend. No,
but I thought you said you don't care.
I'm just giving you from a basketball analyst. When
Okay,
I
from
think
basketball
about,
analysts,
when I
are
think
the
about their
Mavericks going to the
roster, when I
championship?
think about their roster, I don't think the late when
As a
they
basketball
have,
analyst, are the Mavericks going to the championship?
no saying that no, that's different. That's a different question.
Are the Lakers going to the championship?
There's a lot of basketball to be played, but if I put my feet to the fire with their obvious holes, I don't think so.
So is the Mavericks going to the championship?
That's a different question because I don't.
Yeah, because it's a different team,
I'm not
Daniel.
because
How you gonna say no and then say I don't judge on the next
they're a
one?
much better team. I don't want to say that they can't because looking at their
crazy.
roster, they have the ability to get to the finals.
They roster got a month hole in it, and
Their roster
Davis.
has the ability to get to the finals. Now, there's also that piece of it too. Can they be healthy enough when the time comes? So there's that piece of it too. But looking at the Lakers,
I know you was cracking up last week, Sam.
As a Laker fan, I'm a Laker fan. As a Laker fan, they could be healthy all they want. Come playoff time, they're not making the playoffs. It's not happening. So they're not making the playoffs, but making the finals. My bad.
So can me and Sam get prime and proper if the Lakers make the finals? Can we get prime and proper on you?
Say it again.
If the Lakers make it to the NBA finals, and it'd be because of this trade, can me and Sam get prime and proper on you?
I'm trying to get donations for my AAU team. I ain't taking no grown men to go eat. I'm trying to get donations for my AAU team. I ain't taking no grown men to go eat on no basketball game I ain't playing in. But nah, seriously though, I think both teams got what they wanted out of the trade, so they both won.
The Mavericks did not foresee AD being hurt in the
somebody
first
being
game.
hurt, and you can't even make that determination. It was 2 weeks ago. How do you know who won the trade in 2 weeks? What if the Mavericks do? Okay, let me ask you.
One of the players is playing, and one of the players is not.
Both teams won it. You just said both teams won it.
Hey, what if the Mavericks do win the championship?
I'll take you to prime proper glad. I'll fly you here and take you to prime.
No, I'm saying, what if they do? I don't want you to take me nowhere. I'm saying, what if the Mavericks do?
I will say you.
There is no what if for me because they won't.
They won't win.
Y'all making it about me. I'm talking about just in basketball terms.
In basketball terms, they will not win the championship. That's
if they do. Who won the trade?
It got worse.
If they win the championship, does it mean that they won? If they make it to the finals, does it mean they lost the trade?
No, they won't make it to the finals, so we won't know. We already know they lost the trade because they're not going to make it to the finals. That's what analysts do. We tell you they are not going to make it to the finals. Period.
All right. You're right.
And if they do, I'm coming on bended knee. I apologize. AD did not get hurt and be out for a month. I'm sorry. Yes, he did. AD was healthy after that month, and they really got on the road.
Yeah, I say, man, he finally led a team somewhere.
That's what we would say.
He has not to this point.
But guess what? That ain't gonna happen. So I ain't gonna have to do that. Sam ain't gonna do that.
Hey, Sam,
but you on the other hand are gonna have to say
Sam like that. AD never led nobody nowhere. He conveniently forgets that AD led the Pelicans to the second round of the playoffs. Only reason why they can go further because they lost to the 73 win. They lost to the 73 win Warriors.
He said the second round of the playoffs. He said he led them all the way to the second round of the playoffs.
Cut it out.
Man, AD, man, remember that one time he led the Pelicans all the way to the second round of the playoffs?
Yeah.
Man. What you talking about?
The Pelicans ain't been to the second round since.
What are you talking about?
They ain't been that good since. But they would have went further. They wouldn't have lost they lost to the Pelicans, bro. So I mean they lost to the Warriors. So I mean, what do you expect? You think AD is supposed to beat the 73 win Warriors?
LeBron did.
He's not LeBron.
That's what I said.
No, that's not what y'all said. That's not what y'all said. In the history, hey, bro. In the history of this game, there's a difference between AD and LeBron. In the moment where they played in the finals in the bubble, there wasn't that big of a difference. I know y'all. It's hard to nuance basketball for y'all, but that's not that hard of a nuance to make.
Well, we can go from previous history.
In the echelon of basketball history, right? There's a clear, distinct difference between AD and LeBron. Clearly.
We can go off history and say, we can quantify that LeBron is probably the leader because we watched him do it. That's
no, you haven't. You haven't seen no.
We haven't seen LeBron do it.
We saw LeBron not make the playoffs with the Lakers before AD got there. That's what we saw LeBron do in the Lakers uniform.
He's crazy.
We saw LeBron not make the playoffs with the Lakers before AD got there. Am I wrong?
So no AD, no nothing for LeBron.
They didn't make that. So if LeBron was such the catalyst and the driver, why did they not make the playoffs until they traded for AD?
Do you know that our LeBron got hurt?
Do you know that they didn't make the playoffs? He was out for 2 weeks.
Do you know he
was
got
out
hurt,
for
right?
he was out for 2 weeks for the same soft tissue groin injury. I'm a Laker fan. I remember he was out for 2 weeks.
So he got hurt and he was unable to
He
recover.
was out. So you out for 2 weeks and your team, you can't make the playoffs.
Well, if he's not the same player because of his soft tissue injury,
Man, I'm not trying.
But he's not a repeat offender on soft tissues. Let's be clear. He's not a repeat offender. He might have had a little too wine one night and not his soft tissue.
That man was out 60-something games, bro. They didn't make the playoffs. For whatever reason, they didn't make it. They get AD.
He was out 60
They make
games?
the playoffs. They win a championship. The rest is history. So
the rest is history. And guess what? What's today's date? February 12th, 2025. AD has on street clothes again.
yeah, he does. And Luka just came out of street clothes.
And he played really well. And he's back
Bro,
on the court
He did
tonight.
play really well. He had 15 points and 4 assists. He did.
You ain't
play
watched the game
really
then.
well.
You ain't watched the game.
He played okay.
Either you didn't watch the game or you don't know ball.
He played 21 minutes, 24 minutes, and 15 points. Hey, bro, stop, bro.
15
played
points
okay.
in 24 minutes. You saying that's not
He
good?
played okay. Like with,
You saying 15 points in 24 minutes not good?
LeBron-colored glasses are gonna
Wait. Time out. I got to ask
played
you.
okay,
15
bro.
points in 24 minutes is not good with all strangers?
For a guy that averages 30, that's not a good. He did okay.
You
did
crazy.
okay.
You are crazy.
He
You
did
are
okay.
crazy.
Hey, my
You must
man
didn't watch
AK,
the game.
bro. Hey, my man AK, I know. I hope I get to meet you in person so we can talk basketball, because what you saying in the chat makes absolutely no sense.
Well, they listening to you, Daniel, and they saying Daniel must don't know basketball
He's not listening to me, because if he listened to me, he wouldn't be saying the stuff he's saying if he was listening to me.
They listen to you sound crazy, and they
I'm not sounding crazy. I know.
He must don't know basketball.
Hey, man, like I said, the Mavericks showed what they were capable of in the 31 minutes AD played. They look like they were that team took a 2 steps forward compared to what they look like. So if he comes back and he's healthy for the playoffs, you're gonna see a different Mavericks team. So you can say what you want to say.
Yeah,
so we got to stop on the Luka conversation.
Talking about a dude who ain't played since the holiday break.
This is sounding painfully like the what's her name? I forget her name. I'm so exhausted with this conversation.
So exhausted.
This is sounding like the Caitlin Clark conversation.
Oh yeah, he crazy. He was crazy.
Hey, and the crazy part is, y'all, and I've been waiting for y'all to bring that back up, because the chick, I can't say her name. She's still selling more shoes than Caitlin Clark. Remember that argument? Yeah, y'all. Yeah, I know why you ain't brought it back up, because I just didn't want to
argue no more.
I think AK was in the chat talking that dumb stuff then too. Go check the shoe sales now.
We didn't wait. Who you say was selling more shoes than her?
Don't worry about it. You're not a basketball guy.
What we said was Caitlin Clark's shoes will sell out.
I can't pronounce her last name. I can't pronounce her last name. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What we said was Caitlin Clark's shoes will sell out, and you said no, and that's
they done that. I haven't seen no Caitlin Clark shoe that's more popular than old girl shoes.
We said sell out. What did you talk about?
Yeah, you can sell out if they're only 500 pair. That ain't what we talking about.
You think they only made 500 pair?
The most popular
woman basketball player ever. You think they only
made
500
popular
pair?
Women's shoe is old girl. I forget her. I can't say an Ayusek or however you say her name. She got the Kobe the Kobe.
Sabrina Ionescu.
Yeah.
So she wearing Kobe's, and you're saying how they basically Kobe's, right? Girl Kobe's, and you're saying they're the most popular. Well, of course,
they're the most popular women's shoe right now. They got men's teams that wear, high school teams wearing.
They're Kobe's.
Man, they heard.
Do you understand that?
They heard.
This man saying you crazy.
They heard now. My dog Kobe gone.
You're crazy. You're crazy. She wearing Kobe's, and you talking about she got the highest, most everybody wearing them.
So why didn't they give it to Caitlin? Why didn't they give the Kobe line to Caitlin then?
Because that's Kobe's protege.
No.
Do you know that? Do you know that?
I know that. I know that's Kobe's protege.
So why would they give it to Caitlin Clark?
I know. So, but you talking about
guess what? Caitlin Clark don't need Kobe's
popular
history to sell her shoe.
What? Say it again.
Caitlin Clark don't need Kobe's history to sell her shoe. What are you talking about? Everybody loves Kobe's. I like Kobe's, and I don't even hoop.
And why didn't they give it to the most popular women's player then?
Because she don't need to stand on Kobe's
history. They gave it to his. I agree with you, the fact that that's his protege. So
that's his protege.
But she's also wildly popular as well.
Uncle. What are you talking about,
bro? Okay, bro, you right.
And that school ain't even close to Caitlin Clark as a player. What are you talking about?
I didn't say she was close to Caitlin Clark as a player. I said the shoe and the popularity. The shoe sales were one of the things you all brought up. She
It's
doesn't have
Kobe's
more
shoe.
shoe
You're
sales
crazy.
than Sabrina.
You're crazy.
She doesn't have more shoe sales than Sabrina. Y'all talk about this. The arena selling out. The arena was only sold out in Indy.
Hey, where's producer Ben? You supposed to be blew the whistle a long time ago, Ben. You sleeping on the job.
And they're not quite Kobe's. It's just they use the Kobe silhouette. There's not really the exact Kobe shoe. They just use the silhouette, the design.
Hey.
But they've done that with They've done that with Ja Morant.
I'm looking at the shoe, and it's a Kobe.
No, they've done that because they've done that with Ja Morant, and then the new LeBrons also they kind of stole from the Kobe.
Kobe, you got a co-signer. You have a co-signer.
Well, that person don't even got a picture.
I appreciate it, but I don't need no co-signer, bro. I stand on my own too with basketball because I notice. I stand on my own too.
Well, did you know you weren't alone?
No, I didn't say I was alone. I didn't say that.
A bunch of other crazies.
There's a lot of basketball people that agree with me. There's a lot of barbershop people that agree with you.
Wrong as hell. I think y'all wrong as hell.
Yes, Devin can still dunk and Daniel can't. Because I'm a ball guy and Daniel.
Anybody saying that AD ain't worth trading for, I really don't even want to talk basketball.
Wait.
We never said that.
I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in the chat. I'm reading the chat.
He's not worth trading Luka for.
I'm reading the chat.
Yeah, come on, Dan.
I'm reading the chat. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in the chat. AD. Somebody said AD not even worth trading for. I'm not even trying to talk to basketball with y'all. That's crazy.
Yeah, who said he's not worth trading for?
And
y'all know what that person meant.
Hey, there's an argument
to be made if you're giving up Luka.
There is an argument to be. First of all, I'm not ever trading a 7-footer for a guy under 6'9", 6'10" anyway. I don't give a damn what his name is. I'm not trading a big for a little ever anyway.
You crazy.
So if it's not Giannis, Joker, or Embiid, AD is definitely worth trading for anybody else in that league. Y'all tripping.
You love guys that are hurt.
No, I like guys that are productive.
And hurt.
No, I like guys that are productive, and AD is extremely
Embiid is hurt a lot. You like the hurt guys.
Embiid just won MVP. What are you talking about?
Embiid is hurt.
Embiid just won MVP.
Embiid is hurt.
I'm not trading a 7-footer for. I'm not trading a big for a little.
The Sixers will never sniff a championship because they won't get rid of Embiid.
The Sixers don't sniff a championship, and it ain't Embiid's fault. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Can't.
He ain't never there to play.
It ain't him.
Hey Daniel, you crazy.
No.
I knew that. I knew you was, but now I really know.
Because y'all, the way y'all view injuries is not how obviously the people writing checks view injuries. So it's not even worth continuing the discussion.
Yeah, they do. Because the Lakers said, we sick of this hurt fool. We're going to go ahead and send him over to Dallas.
Said, we sick of this hurt fool. They both said the same thing.
He took his team to the finals last year.
So what? And won the championship with his team.
And so did Robert Horry.
And won at least 2 games in the finals by himself.
And so did Kyrie Irving and Robert Horry.
Hey, and Kyrie Irving is a very valuable asset in this league.
Hey man,
we're not saying AD's
I didn't
not.
Plan, Rashad, I didn't plan on the discussion going this long. I was just bringing up the fact that we brought in the discussion last week, brought up the irony of trading a player whose availability you question.
Let me tell you what this means.
Whose availability
that's because
been a question.
When you want to dumb down the argument, when you want to dumb down the basketball debate, you bring it to injuries.
Wait, okay, can I ask you this, Daniel?
Instead of their effect. Instead of their effect on the court when they're healthy. That's why these teams are trading for them.
Can I ask you this? Who's a better player, Luka or AD?
That's not a question. They don't even play the same position.
Who's a better player?
They don't even play the same position.
Who's a better player?
Bro, I'm telling you how I view the game. They don't play the same position.
Okay, who's the better player, AD or Kyrie Irving?
They don't play the same position.
Hey, you crazy. Goodbye. All right, can we just end this
they
now?
Because
he always chooses a better player.
Ask me who's the better player between AD and Joker. Ask me the better player between AD and Joker. Ask me the better player between Joker and Embiid. Ask me those similar. You ask me, asking who's the better player between a guard and a big. Anybody giving you an answer to that question, whether they're on national TV or they're in your local barbershop, they're giving you their preference.
Well,
because there's no way that you can sit there and tell me.
This is one of your arguments. I'm going to use it against you. the people making decisions to pay the dudes that's giving their analysis think I'm
and they're both getting max. They're both getting max dollars. So they're on the same level in the NBA. They're both getting max dollars.
What I know is the reason why I brought up availability, Daniel, is because they did. It was
Sam, tell Ben to pull up the availability stats from the last 5 years for both players.
It wasn't the only factor that they brought up, but it was a factor that they brought up.
Hey, Ben, pull up the availability, the number of games played the last 5 years for both players, please.
And with the availability being a question mark for both players, the irony of trading one for the other was not lost on me. It just is like that seems odd that you would do that.
They both average about the same amount of games played.
Yeah,
but one is young,
and that's kind of the point.
One is 25, only averaging. So you think as he gets older, that's going to get better? What are you talking about? Do you think Luka, if Luka's averaging 60 games a year now, do you think as he gets older, he's going to get better?
Wait a minute.
You know AD gonna get older too, right?
Right.
You know
the other one is 31.
But the Mavericks are not worried. I'm saying I say that's what I'm saying. You're not listening. The Mavericks are not worried about 10 years down the line. Kyrie Irving won't be the player he is now in 10 years down the line.
What about 12 hours down the line?
Listen, DG. Listen, y'all got it. The Mavericks are worried about winning right now.
How they gonna win tonight?
They worry about winning right now.
How they gonna win tonight?
But if they're healthy, it's always with the caveat.
How they gonna win tonight?
It's with the caveat that if they're healthy, they
no,
have a better chance of winning.
How they gonna win tonight?
Listen, bro, you keep cutting me off. They have a better chance of winning with AD healthy with their roster currently constructed when they had Luka.
Okay, now let me ask my question.
Right?
How they gonna win tonight?
But it's the same thing with Luka. Luka ain't played since Christmas, bro. He ain't been healthy neither.
Well, Luka and LeBron didn't play a couple nights ago, and the Lakers won. And I don't think the Mavericks gonna have
the Mavericks. The Mavericks finished the game off against the Celtics without AD. They won the game.
They finished
against the fucking. I mean, the NBA final favorites.
They just lost yesterday, or what was it? 2 days ago?
Yeah, they gonna lose.
Why your voice get so little right there?
Because they're gonna lose. It's the NBA, bro. It's the regular season. All these guys are gonna lose games. The Lakers probably gonna lose a bunch. Not probably. They'll lose more games too.
Okay. How the Mavericks gonna win today? Who's gonna be the leading scorer?
We can't have this conversation again until the season is over. Clearly,
yeah, bro.
No. Sam, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Conversation till you can't really have this conversation.
4 weeks time. In 4 weeks time, Sam, the Mavericks might be under 500. We'll be able to have this conversation before the season over.
Okay.
I ain't saying they will, but they might.
They were winning without Luka with that same roster. Why you think they can't? Well, they're missing Grimes and
Ferris Khan, you was all in the comments talking about, hey, this is already proven that the Mavs won this trade. You was man, they beat the Rockets and you was convinced. Come on, man. What did I tell? Come on, man.
What's your example of saying that the Lakers have won the trade if Luka's only played one game as well? So I'm trying because he's 25.
No, Luka a better player than
I keep asking you if his body hasn't been able to hold up at 25, what makes you think it's going to hold up the next team?
At 25 years old, he's already done more than AD.
Not even close.
He hasn't won anything.
At 25
y'all keep talking
years
about
old.
Individual awards. The Mavericks GM does not care how many first team All NBA awards his best player has. He cares if he leads them to an NBA championship.
He's already, as an individual player, led a team himself.
He did to what?
To the NBA Finals.
What happened when they got there, Sam? How close were they to winning an NBA championship?
Hey, he bragged about AD taking his team in the second round, but he poo-pooing Luka going to the final. He bragged about AD taking his team in the second round.
Tell me who's on that New Orleans team with AD. Who's on the New Orleans team with AD? I'll wait.
We don't know.
Exactly.
AD led a team was to the
second round.
He got on the Lakers with LeBron.
When they got to the finals, who did the Celtics attack? Right? What was the Celtics game plan to attack who?
So you would rather go out
when the Celtics got to the finals and played the Mavericks last year? Don't ask me a question. Answer the one I'm asking. Who was their game plan to attack last year?
I know that the team that
Man, they
went
went at Luka. Like I said, it's a 5 minute.
You gonna let me answer the question? You gonna let me answer the question? Whoever they were attacking were also in the finals, not the second round. Crazy.
They had them attacking Luka, and they get to the finals, and you're not close to winning the finals.
Hey, if I'm an owner of a team, I get to that finals every time instead of going that second round. Butts and MCs, baby, for at least 2 games.
No, who is that? Frank? No, because Steph actually gives effort on defense.
So effort, even though you can't defend, is like great.
Yes, when you give effort on defense, and
Kyrie can't play defense either. I mean, listen,
when you give effort and you give multiple efforts on defense, that makes you a more valuable defender. Yes, it does. But when you do stuff like Luka and you watch guys blow by you like a matador, you're not giving any effort on defense. Yes, Frank, there's a difference in value.
Daniel, the one thing I will tell you, if you're going to give that credit to Steph, and it's only 1 game, Luka was the same way in this past game. He was rotating. He was making sure that he gave effort, and nobody beat him one-on-one. What are you talking about? If he can do that, then
if he was doing that on a regular basis, he'd still be a Dallas Maverick.
Well, he's doing it on a regular basis for the Lakers.
No, he's not doing it on a regular basis. You just said it was 1 game.
That's a regular basis. He ain't played again.
No, Devin, you have 5 years of evidence of this guy not.
He ain't played for like 5 years.
I'm not arguing the dude gives effort on defense. I'm not arguing.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all talking
it's the bastion of good health and eating right. He needs to work on those things.
And with all that work needed to be done, he's still giving you 30.
At 25,
man, that's only one side of the ball.
At 25, by age 25, where had AD led a team by age 25?
He's a great offensive player.
Where had
one
AD
player
led
in this conversation? Only one player has a ring. Only one player has championship experience, and only one player is in the conversation for MVP and defensive MVP. And his name is not Luka Doncic.
Where had AD led anything?
Only one player's in the conversation for MVP and defensive MVP, and it's not Luka Doncic.
It's not AD either because he out for a month.
Yes, and when he come back, he'll still be in the defensive MVP.
No, he won't because he won't have played enough games. He won't have played enough games. He can't.
He won't win MVP, but he'll still be in the defensive.
No, he won't. No, he won't.
Okay.
And I don't want to hear about no conversation if you don't give credit to a dude that took his team to the finals. I don't want to hear about conversation. Did he win defensive MVP or not?
You're statistically one of the best defensive players in the NBA. You change defenses by yourself. I'm not trying to hear that.
No,
I'm not trying to hear that. Only one person in this conversation can do that. If you want to win an NBA championship, just like we saw in football, you better play defense. And only one of them guys is go play defense.
Nope. The Mavericks will never win a championship in the next 5 years.
John, that's false. Go back and look at AD matchups against Joker and Embiid, and you will see that's false.
Joker get busy on AD.
No, he do not. AD
yes, he do.
No, he don't. No, he does not. AD literally destroys the Joker every time.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
Go back and look at the Lakers. I watched. I'm telling you, go back and look at the matchups.
You just said AD destroys Joker. So how are they losing? Is LeBron just so terrible?
AD got multiple 40 and 10 games against the Joker over the last 5 years.
I'm talking about defense. What is Joker doing to him when he on defense? You talking about his defense?
Nobody can guard the Joker. What are you talking about?
So what is his value?
Luka can't guard. Luka is struggling to guard the undrafted free agent that get 10 minutes a game.
That's the end of the show. End of the show. He's crazy because he's crazy
now because this guy can't guard the undrafted free agent that's on a 10-day contract versus you talking about this dude guarding one of the best big men in NBA history.
You just said his defense is just so amazing. He's doing it by himself. And I told you Joker been getting busy on him, and you said he been dominating Joker. And
he dominates Joker.
Joker been going crazy. Where's the defense? Because Joker get what he want when he play AD, and I've watched.
Let me know when y'all ready to move on to a different conversation. I'm not.
We need to be going home because you're crazy.
I watched with my own 2 eyes. We good.
So you telling me Joker didn't get busy on the defensive star AD?
They get nobody.
Yes or no? Did he get busy on the defensive star?
Just a quick pull up in their matchups, right? AD is averaging 26 and 10, and Joker is averaging 22 and 11 in their matchups throughout the history of this. They've been in the league at the same time.
And
so for the people who sitting there talking about, I don't know what I'm talking about. I know, bro. 26-10 versus 22-11. Who's winning the matchup?
What about the assists as well?
He's averaging just under 7 assists per game against A. That's for their careers against each other. That's for their now over the last
add that too.
Over the last few years, Joker's numbers have been much better, right?
Of course he has, because he's a much
over
better player now.
Of their careers, AD is dominant.
We're not talking about before Joker became dominant. We talking about now.
AD been dominant since day. So that's what I'm saying. So what are we talking about then?
Who he dominating,
bro? All right, we going on 2.5 hours, Sam. And the last 40 minutes been arguing about.
We good.
Everybody know you crazy, Daniel. I've been new, but not everybody know. Hey, this feel like Coach Carter, man. You think it was bad that the whole team knew you was a dummy? Not everybody in America. Don't
play with me like that, bro. Don't play with me like that, bro.
You thought it was bad that we all knew you was failing algebra. Not everybody know you failing algebra.
Hey, chill out, fam. I trust me. Trust me. Joker does not dominate that matchup. No matter how
he didn't dominate. He didn't dominate in the Lakers series. It was back and forth. No,
ain't no back and forth. See, that's what I'm saying. When I'm right,
back and forth.
When I'm right, y'all that was back. No, AD won the matchup.
What you right about?
The matchup. The majority
they lost the game
against each other over the years.
So I'll go back and look.
Season matchup.
So in game one,
if you look at the regular season,
let's go back and look. Let's go back and look.
Winning the matchup in the regular season.
I will pull it up. In game one, they both had 32 points, and the Nuggets won.
Except one guy is supposed to be a defensive stopper.
All right, that's game one.
Nobody, when it gets to a certain level of talent, you're not stopping them. AD
you said his defense is why
I said it was back and forth. You said it wasn't. For game one, they both had 32. And the Nuggets won. Game two.
The Nuggets won.
AD had 32. Joker had 27. The Nuggets won.
Yeah, the Nuggets they won the series, right? They had the better team. But as far as that individual matchup,
Can he finish?
Game three. AD had in that game, AD had 33. And the Joker had in that game, he had 24, and the Nuggets won to go up 3-0.
And who won that? Who won that matchup that night?
AD.
No, time out. Because we know ball, because of the way Joker plays, you can't just go off of his points.
Stop that. Keep going.
You
Sam.
can't. You got to add how many assists he had as well.
Because that's why his team won.
But I said it was back and forth. I said it was back and forth.
Got his ass kicked.
I said it was back and forth. You said it wasn't. You said that AD.
You said AD won the
matchup. What I said when you add into the regular season matchups, it's not.
Who cares about that? You said you don't care about. You don't even care about going to the finals.
The Nuggets may win the game, but when in that matchup, AD against Joker, AD literally. AD gets the best of him damn near every time they play.
But earlier Joker you said you don't care about Luka going to the finals unless he win. Why are you talking about regular season games? That is crazy to me. You said you don't care about that.
When they match up, AD is normally wins.
What's the closeout game, Sam? Go ahead with the closeout game.
Game 4, the Lakers won. But in the game, AD had in the contest 25, and Joker had
bought out that game.
Joker had 30.
No, don't interrupt.
Yeah, he bought out to close the series.
No, he got busy on him.
Joker had 33. Wait, so I give you the stats. Actually, AD had 25 points and 23 rebounds in that game. So
you said you don't care about rebounds.
I'm not trying to hear none of that, bro.
You didn't say that?
You trolling right now. You
say you don't care about rebounds.
I need you when we talk basketball.
I said AD had 25 points and 23 rebounds.
But earlier when I said that LeBron had more rebounds than AD in the finals, he said those are lucky. Those are uncontested.
Hey Sam, the Nuggets won that series because they were the better team, right?
Listen, those were AD stats. 25 25 points and 23 rebounds.
Right. So
Those are
but
good stats
throughout
for
the course
AD.
of that, throughout the course of
Joker-
that series,
Joker
AD
had
outplayed Joker.
Joker had 33, 14, and 14.
Like I said.
But they lost.
Series,
28 extra points if it's not threes.
But the Nuggets lost that game. And then the closeout game,
Joker had another game. They both balled out
AD had 17 and 15.
17 to 15. Close out.
And the Joker had 25, 20, and 9.
He balled. He balled.
He buried him when he needed to. That was his direct matchup. He buried him. Offensively and defensively.
That was not his direct matchup.
15 and 17. Goodbye.
But
this is over.
He had 17 and 15. Now, Sam, pull up the regular season matchups from last year.
No, we're not pulling up no regular season.
Yes,
nothing.
We are.
No, we're not. You do it on your own time.
Pull up the regular season.
You do
matchups.
it on your own time. I'm not staying here for regular season
stats.
But
you talking crazy? But even he didn't outplay AD into the last game of the series.
I'm not staying here for regular season.
Outplayed AD into the last game of the series, and
he actually outplayed him in game 4 and game 5.
No, he didn't outplay him in game. AD had 25 and 23.
That wasn't game 4.
That was game 4. He just called it out. He had what he said. Did he just say he had
game
25
3
and 23?
That was game 3.
No, that was game 4.
Game 4, 25 and 23, and then Joker in that game had 33, 14.
Oh, I'm sorry. 14. He still dominated him.
No, they both dominated. One had 25.
Oh, here we go. Now they both dominated. I thought
we called it
Sam said it was back and forth, and you said it wasn't.
In basketball, we called that a Barbara Walters. He had a 20-20. So he balled that night.
Nobody said that.
Yes,
Sam said it was back and forth.
Definitely say that. I don't
Sam
know what you
said it was back and forth, and you said it wasn't. That was disproved because Sam brought out the facts.
It wasn't disproved. It wasn't disproved.
So it wasn't back and forth.
Go back. If you, like I said, go back.
What's back and forth to you, Daniel?
Numbers, AD balls against Joker every time.
What's back and forth to you, Daniel, in a series? What's back and forth? Because in the last game, that was the most dominant version of Joker and the least productive version of AD.
You're showing why you are all-world quarterback.
Hey, man, I don't get it. I don't get how that's not back and forth.
No, I'm not a big time two guard because I'm not a basketball player.
Hey, Sam, it's not back and forth. It's not.
Yeah,
I take it back. It was
Thanks
back
for
and
watching.
forth. It was back, but AD
don't change it now. Bye.
Outplayed him. Hey, AD outplayed him, Sam. Joker got his licks in too, but he outplayed him. I don't know why y'all laughing, bro. He outplayed in that series.
Oh my God. You're killing me, Daniel. You're killing me, brother. You're killing me.
Sam, call out the numbers again. So y'all wait till the last game of the series. So the last game in a
you know what, brother? I think you just want to troll me, man.
No, I'm not. Sam, answer the question. Were AD's numbers better in every game into the last two games of the series? Yes or no?
I think you're just trying to make me spit. I think you
were AD's numbers better than Joker's every game in the series to the last two games? Yes or no?
You just trying to basketball little boy me right now.
No, I'm not because y'all not making those. Y'all trying to talk crazy about a dude who did put in work in this league against a guy who's
the facts are.
What?
Joker and AD scored the same amount of points game 1. Game 2, AD scored more. Game 3,
AD
I don't remember. But the last 2 games, Joker scored more. So that means that 3 of those games, it was 2-2, and 1 was a tie. You're crazy. That's the definition of back and forth.
But it's not because the Joker has the better team. It's not. Like y'all gotta understand, bro. Hey, all right, you'll see. Like I said, AD had 26, 17, and 7 assists in 31 minutes in his first game with the Mavericks. You'll see.
Okay.
And AK, of course, he accounted for more offense. It's their offense. He literally plays the point.
That's similar. Scott Henry, that's similar to bless your heart.
It's still 3,000 people in here. It's people still watching. So I appreciate that y'all still watching.
Hey, of course, AD, Joker's going to account for more points than AD because they play a different style of big man.
I got
AD is not the initiator or play initiator.
Who a better big man? Who a better player, Joker or AD?
Depends on what you want.
Oh God, goodbye.
If I'm building my team, I'm probably going to take
you talking about the 3-time MVP?
We
No,
got
hey, big time. Hey, you can't.
You telling me that you think
I'm
that
not
AD is a better player than
for
Joker?
what I want in my big man, I want my big man.
This
to
man
be
don't know basketball at all.
both
Actually,
ends.
gotta end the
Like
show.
as great as
Sam, he
Joker is
crazy. Just cut it
offensively,
off. He
hold on,
crazy.
How many
He digging
how many
himself. He digging.
championships does Joker have?
One.
All right, how many championships does AD have?
One.
All right then. So
How
like
many
I said,
MVPs do
if
Joker
I'm
have?
picking
How many
if I'm picking
MVPs do Joker have?
I'm picking
How many
between two
MVPs do
championship
Joker
level-
have?
If I'm picking between two championship level big men,
How many
I want the
MVPs
one
do
that's
Joker
gonna
have?
defend as well. That's just
How
me.
many
You can
MVPs?
take Joker,
I answered your
and
question.
you
I
can
answered your
take
question.
Joker, and you'll be
I
perfectly.
answered your questions.
And you'll be
Can you
quite
answer
all right
mine?
taking Joker.
Can you
I'm
answer
taking
mine?
who I want.
I answer your question. Can you answer mine? How many MVPs do Joker have?
Three.
How many MVPs do AD have?
None. Who cares?
How many defensive players a year do Joker
Who
have?
cares? So we arguing about who's the better defensive player?
No, I'm just saying who the better player. Because I know you're gonna say he can defend, but
AD,
guess what? AD don't have no defensive player of the years ever.
Look, I'm definitely not about to get into no debate about who's the better defensive player.
Who's the
between
better
the two.
player?
You can cancel that.
Who's the better basketball player?
I'm
Who's the better
definitely not
basketball player?
engaged in that.
There's no human on this planet that will say that AD, except you, of course, AD is a better player than Joker, and you're digging yourself a hole. You obviously don't know ball.
We got to go.
Yeah, I don't know ball, y'all. Y'all right. I don't know nothing about basketball because I prefer the big man that's gonna play defense instead of
I know you knew
about
basketball. I think what you pulled your basketball card and you was like,
no, I'm not pulling my basketball.
Yes, you are.
You did it multiple times.
I'm saying
that basketball card on this man.
If y'all want to take the guy that doesn't play any defense, then when you get to the finals, he's gonna be a cone. He's gonna be the single reason why your game plan collapses.
Where you gonna get to?
Take Luka. Take Luka.
Where you gonna get to?
Hey, you wouldn't be wrong taking Luka. It's just know when you get to that moment, your game plan is gonna collapse because of his effort, right? I don't have that.
Thanks for watching.
Been the truth of AD.
Still. He's crazy.
Oh man,
he's a crazy man.
Yeah, man. I know you know basketball. You forgot.
I don't know. I don't know
basketball.
I don't know basketball.
I know that.
There's no way.
What happens is
there's no way
in the argument. You can always pull that basketball card. You can always pull it. I think you
with no supporting details. He went for 10 minutes arguing with us that it wasn't back and forth, and then right at the end he said, "Well, maybe it was back and forth." What?
My argument wasn't that it wasn't back and forth. That's not what I said.
Sam, he killed him. It wasn't back and forth.
Sam brought in the back and forth part. My initial statement was AD has been winning those matchups for years, and he has.
You told Sam said, yeah, it was back and forth in the finals. You said no, it wasn't. AD buried him.
Because if you go back to the regular season matchups as well,
why you keep saying that? Why you keep saying that?
A couple times
we're not talking about no regular season. We're not talking about regular season. We're not talking about regular season. Period.
Hey,
and if you're a basketball guy, you know you shouldn't even be thinking about regular season when there's finals involved.
No, it all matters. You talking about if you just brought up MVPs and then don't want to talk about regular season. What are you talking about?
Well, it's because we're talking about individual players.
You just trolling.
All right. Blow the whistle.
You just trolling.
All right.
We're not talking about regular season, but how many MVPs he got.
Let's just recap so everybody know how much Daniel don't know about basketball. Luka is not a better player than AD, and Joker is also not a better player than AD.
That's not what I said. He asked me which one would I take.
No, I said who's the better. It was my question. I said who's the better player. Okay, I'll ask you again.
Depends on what
who's a better player?
It depends on what you like. I like
basketball. I like basketball players.
I like AD better. That's me.
Well,
I like AD better.
And again, he knows nothing.
We went to the barbershop and got 4 haircuts already.
He knows nothing.
Hey, 2.5 hours, huh?
We got 4 haircuts already.
Man,
all right.
I like AD better.
Not a whole world know you fell in algebra.
Yep. Whole world know I'm failing algebra for taking a big man that's got averaging 25 and 12. You right.
My wife done called me. She said, I know you ain't answer the phone because you still on dimes. She like, damn it, now I'm in trouble. Now I'm in trouble.
25 and 12, I'm taking it. 25 and 12 with a high
I'm about to go watch
rating,
Coach Carter because I'm gonna see Daniel and
hey,
DG,
all of MVPs Joker got. How many times have they finished first in the West or won the championship? Probably once, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And it's shaved, Gavin. And
it's for a reason because his ass don't defend either. So
yeah, man, and it's shaved, man. Hell
but
yeah.
I mean, even if you don't defend, you can still win a championship. They probably should have kept Luka.
No, it's not. It's very rare. Like you saw last year, you saw what happened to him when they played against Minnesota. What Joker looked like.
Oh my God!
Exactly.
What they look like when he played AD?
Exactly. What he gonna look like when he play AD this year? That's the thing.
AD might not play. That's the problem.
We'll see.
You know who is gonna play? Luka.
Hey, look, see, AK a triple double. I'm telling you, that's when you only look at stats. That's when you only because all them triple doubles, all them MVPs, they got one ring.
All them rebounds.
One ring to show for it.
He talking about rebounds. What you talking about?
Nah, cut it out, AK. He wasn't dragging nothing. The years they was dragging anything, they finished 5th or 6th and didn't win nothing. So what was he dragging them to? Cut it out.
They went to the conference finals. I remember.
Cut it out. If that's the case, like y'all was just talking crazy about me when I said AD took the Pelicans to the second round. That's the same thing Joker did. I don't even think they made it to the second round.
All right.
They won a championship.
All right, folks. We shall see y'all next week, I think. If we got something left in the tank on the next edition of Steady Droppin Dimes.
Daniel's crazy. Daniel's crazy before we go. Daniel's crazy. Daniel's crazy 2025. Too late. Already said it last.
Devin
Daniel's crazy 2025.